Good evening. It's Friday night at Jeff Coed, and you're looking live at the McAdory High School campus, where tonight the Yellow Jackets will be taking on, in region play, they're welcoming the Jaguars from Northridge High School. And, you know, it's going to be a great matchup. I'm Chris Osborne, glad to be with you. This is our third game of the week on Jeff Coed TV. And we're live with you every Friday, bringing some of the best high school football in Jefferson County. So we've got a great matchup for you. As I said earlier, McAdory High School starting region play tonight. It's a Class 6A Region 4 showdown with Northridge out of Tuscaloosa. Now, but last week hit a bump in the road as they fell to Helena in a 1-point loss. And just as tough as that is to swallow, the Yellow Jackets are going to have to bounce back, because now each game is going to have playoff implications.
I like the fact that our kids will compete. You know, they're not going to quit. They're going to play to the last whistle. They're going to play hard. They're doing everything we ask them to do. We're a little undersized in some areas, but in terms of, you know, them giving everything that they got, you know, there's no problems for me in that area. Every year we play Northridge, man, regardless if it was the previous coach or the coach that's there now, you know, one thing I know about them is they're going to be physical. They're always big. 2 years ago we played them there, and I think they may have thrown 5 passes maybe. You know, so they're going to play the game in the phone booth. They're going to be really, really physical. They're big up front on both sides of the ball. They take the personality of their head coach. Their head coach and I are really good friends, and we talk a lot, and he's an intense dude. So the kids, they model that. They play hard. They got skilled guys. Their quarterback is really good. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge. We're going to have to play as a team on both sides of the ball, especially on defense. We got to rally and try to tackle those ball carriers and keep those receivers in front of us. Yeah, no, having Jefferson County, man, step up and do the things that they're doing for the athletic programs, not just football, but just in all areas, is huge. I've been at a lot of different places where, you know, the finances haven't been an issue and resources hadn't been an issue, you know, and they have their own TV stations and they have their own broadcasts and things like that. So being able to have this for our kids is a really big deal. I think the kids enjoy it. I think the fans will enjoy it. Me as a head coach, I love it because it brings more eyes and more notoriety to our program. So I'm extremely blessed to be a part of it. Thankful for Jefferson County for doing this for not just McAdory, but for every school in the district.
And here's the thing, sports fans, it doesn't get any easier from here. After Gadsden next week, Gadsden City that is, it's back on the road for McAdory, right back into region play. And listen to this schedule. They're going to take on the 5-game stretch beginning with Brookwood, then Central Tuscaloosa. On October the 11th, they're going to be taking their game to Hueytown, and that looks to be a good game as well. Then Paul Bryant, Bessemer City, and then they'll close the regular season with a non-region game against Briarwood Christian. So certainly a long road ahead. Hopefully they can do what they need to do. Let's go up to Caleb and Scott.
Thanks a lot, Chris. We are here at McAdory. A little bit rain night tonight. We hope it's not a big factor in the game. Could be, though, with a wet field. But let's talk about last week's games and see what happened with all the Jefferson County schools last week on the schedule, because a lot of teams are doing well. Center Point keeps winning. That was the game, obviously, we did. But look at Clay Chalkville just spanking Ramsey. They're just going down the road, aren't they?
Yeah, Clay Chalkville, they are a very good football team. I got to admit, I didn't expect so much from them so early, especially 2 tough opponents. Really impressive win, one of the best in week 1.
Chad Eads at Gardendale spanked Pinson Valley pretty good. Shades Valley lost. Oak Grove will be there next week. Minor Paul Bryant. Helena McAdory. McAdory was heading at 1-0, but Helena, who's going to be a 6A playoff team, that was a battle of playoff teams in my opinion. And look how close it was, 29-28. Then, of course, Corner held off Dora 35-18. But tonight, you got McAdory again 1-1. They beat a very good Pleasant Grove team who's now 4A, but they were 5A last year, and then barely lost to Helena. So this is a really good football team.
Yeah, you mentioned the Helena game. We just were looking at the score, but that was a game McAdory led by 2 touchdowns early on. Yep. This team scores a lot of points, and credit to Helena for coming back to win that game. This offense is very, very good. which is going to be really interesting considering the fact Northridge likes to control the ball. They run the ball, they control the clock. This is two different kinds of offenses that have scored a lot of points. I'm really excited to see how it works out.
Northridge, their lightest guy on the offensive line is 250. They got a couple of 250s, and then over that, 270 and higher. So they're big there. They're big on the defensive line. That's where this game's going to be won or not, right?
Yeah, I think that's the reason they can control the ball so well, and that's why McAdory could end up struggling a little bit, is because of their size up front, but also their depth up front on that defensive line. They could end up getting worn down and allowing Northridge to end up taking control of the game late.
So the skill level, I think we both agree, really favors McAdory. Not that Northridge doesn't have players, but the line size, that doesn't mean the play's going to be that way. The line size certainly favors Northridge. McAdory with the favor in the skill. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and see if the weather is a factor tonight. Turnovers could be a problem as well. So we'll have all the stuff coming up for you here on Jeffco Ed TV. Again, the Northridge Jaguars and the McAdory Yellow Jackets. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Justin Payne, quarterback, junior.
Darren Davis, running back, junior.
Kawan Johnson, running back, junior.
Michael Matthews, wide receiver, senior.
Sean Talbert, receiver, senior.
Trenton Charles, receiver, senior.
Javion McDuffie, offensive line, senior.
Tyler Mason, offensive line, senior.
Cornelius Shavers, offensive lineman, sophomore.
Brendan Walker, offensive line, junior.
Ryan Gray, offensive line, junior. Jamal Jackson, defensive end, junior.
Zaylen Copes, defensive end, senior.
Quentin Rowland, D-line, senior. Deidre Scott, linebacker, junior, Go Jackets.
Kendrick Wilson, linebacker, edge rusher, senior.
Colin Rice, linebacker, senior.
Brandon Hurd, cornerback, senior.
James Kitt, nickelback, senior.
Marquise Cotterham, cornerback, senior.
Nick Thomas, defensive back, senior.
Antario Washington, DB, senior.
Arvia Holmes, McAdory High School head coach. Welcome to the ball game. Go Jackets.
Give your attention toward the east end zone for America's national anthem and the raising of the Stars and Stripes.
All right, our national anthem here at McAdory High School on a rainy, wet night. Pretty good crowd so far, at least on the home side. Northridge fans haven't come in yet, but I expect them to be filling that visitors side as well here. For Northridge and McAdory, Northridge last week winning 17-14 over American Christian in overtime. A little bit surprising that it was that close. And, of course, they're 2-0 because they beat Calera in week 1, 30-27. Meanwhile, McAdory's played a much more difficult schedule, as you know, Caleb, winning against Pleasant Grove, who's dropped to 4A, but still, you know, really good team, obviously, under Darryl LeBeau. And they won that game by a score of 38-35, and then last week lost by 1 to Helena, who's going to be a playoff team, as we talked about. So as far as schedule, I think the advantage goes to McAdory. They should be tougher here in Game 3.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about opponents, I think that is the obvious case. Not sure many people would argue. I mean, Pleasant Grove is a 4A team now, obviously just dropping from 5A, but probably a more talented team. I will say Northridge, the fact that they are coming out of 2 games, 1 in overtime, 1 a 3-point win, they're just as experienced with those close games, and that's huge early in the season to be able to take into region play.
Now, you can't see the weights on those starting lineups, but let me tell you, Jack Parker, Devin White, Will Allen, those guys are very large. You see a familiar name there, Hayes Formby. His brother is the right tackle for the Crimson Tide. So he's got some football pedigree. Also tied in Colin Kapovlik. His dad is the offensive line coach at Alabama, and he had a touchdown catch last week. So they're big on the defensive line and the offensive line, and there's a look at that starting lineup for the Jaguars. You're going to be very formidable. Weather. Now, look, it's rainy. Both teams have to play in it. I'm not a big weather guy, but when you've got big linemen, I would think you may have an advantage as they try to run it early.
Yeah,
and stop the run.
Oh, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of running. I will say the last time I was in this stadium was pre-turf, and it was for a rainy game, and it was muddy down there. Let me tell you, that was kind of fun. I almost kind of wish that was still the case, but obviously I think turf a little bit safer maybe in the rain. But, yeah, you're right. This game is going to be a lot of running, which I do think actually favors Northridge because that's what they're used to. That is their offense anyway.
So we got the pregame coin toss coming up in just a couple of seconds here on the field. It's kind of nostalgic for me, I've got to be honest, okay? Because the yellow jacket, I almost called it a bumblebee. The yellow jacket in the middle of the field is the exact logo from Inslee High School, where I went and played football at Inslee. So that's kind of weird. It's kind of an old school look. I like it. I think it's popular. I appreciate our VIA Homes doing that.
That does look. I mean, you want to talk about the throwbacks here. You're also looking over here with a scoreboard with Bo Jackson's name. So this is a good throwback place to be right now.
All right, let's listen in on the coin toss and the conversation at midfield.
All right, gentlemen, you're the captains tonight. You're responsible for their conduct. Somebody misbehaves, you take care of it before we do. All right? Eisenhower's heads, Liberty Bell is tails. You're the visitor, you get to call it. If I drop it, we'll flip it again. What's your call?
Heads.
He called heads. And it is tails. You've won the toss. You want to defer. Black has won the toss and will defer. That means you want the ball. You want to defend scoreboard.
Yes, sir.
Put your back.
Won the toss and has deferred to the second count.
White to receive. All right, gentlemen, shake hands. Go get your teams for us. Have a good, clean game.
All right, so there's the coin toss, and Northridge will receive here on the road against McAdory, and both teams getting ready to put up the big sign and run through them here. This is a Region 4 game, so this is the first game of Region 4. Should be a competitive region, and it's always good to jump out and get on a good foot here. McAdory obviously wants to hold court, so to speak, at home. Northridge would like nothing better than to get one on the road, right?
Yeah, and I'm really intrigued. I like that Northridge is getting the ball first. They love long drives. That's one in their season opener. They had a 19-play drive in that win over Calera, and that was highlighting a 23-0 run in that game. And then last week in that ACA win, they scored 17 unanswered. They go on these runs, and it's when they control the ball, they keep their defense rested. I think that'll be interesting to see Northridge get the ball first. What kind of drive do we see right out of the gates tonight?
Rowdy Christensen is the quarterback. He's 6 foot. He's very athletic. He's not a great thrower of the football, but he's good enough. But he certainly can run. And they've got a couple of good backs in Jacob Hall and Jalen McCray. One a senior, one a junior that can really scoot. In fact, McCray had 200 yards against Calera in that first game. So he can really get it done behind that offensive line.
Yeah, McCray had the 200 yards, also a pair of touchdowns. But the whole team, I think, ran for over 350 in that game alone. That's when they were running the ball really, really well. And last week, I will say, Rowdy Christensen, they threw an interception that was returned for a touchdown on their first drive. That's what put them behind on the scoreboard early on in that game. That's why they had to battle back, making that game as close as it was. So this might be a little bit of a redemption, them getting the ball first. Even if you don't see them run it over and over again, Rowdy Christensen might have something to say on this drive.
Alan Rosales is the kicker for McAdory. Big kid. He's got a good leg. He can kick it in the end zone for sure. So back deep for Northridge is Brillin Tubbs, wide receiver, and then also starting wide receiver as well, Lewis Cole. I think that's actually not Lewis Cole. That is Mason Elam, I should say, the starting wide receiver, and he brings it out to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Jaguars will set up. Now, Northridge is a heck of a lot like Spain Park, if you're familiar with that team in Birmingham. Same color scheme, black with the light blue, some silver thrown in there a little bit for good luck, and they got the same nickname and everything, so it's going to be easy to see them. I hope I don't call them Spain Park for the Knights of.
They have a little bit darker pants than Spain Park usually has. Might be the only differencing spot.
All right, Christensen back and hands it up the middle, and it looks like on the first play, the Yellow Jackets start pretty strong as Jamal Jackson, the defensive tackle, led the way for the Yellow Jackets against that run. And Mason Elam with the run. And by the way, he'll run it a lot for Northridge, but they do have two very good backs as well. But they do like to get Elam involved in the run game. They don't line him up there a lot, but they're doing it here early to try to throw a wrinkle in to what they normally do. Handoff again, left side, and stopped again. He'll maybe get two over there, but a nice play, meeting him right there at the point of attack was number 12 for McAdory.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if this is a wrinkle or if this is something they have been forced into today. Seeing how this run game works, with Elam being the main back in the backfield on all three offensive snaps so far, including this one right now.
Nick Thomas getting the start. He wasn't in my too deep for McAdory, and he made that tackle. So 3rd down and 9. Throwing it out quickly. Broken tackle, and that's going to be a first down out there. So Arvia Holmes won't like to see that, as there on the tackle was Marquis Cottingham. So 3rd down and 9.
Yeah,
he breaks that tackle,
and that's going to be a first down.
And that's a first down for the Rams.
So,
first and 10 for Northridge at the 40.
Parker Klein was used in motion there on those first 2 plays before that 3rd down. He's obviously going to have a role in this. He went in motion and was able to get into the flat for a catch, and you saw that broken tackle in the replay. Really good play, really good start.
Little shift in motion. Kapolovic going to the other side, the tight end. They just do that and basically run the same kind of plays between the tackles that they have so far, except for the pass. And once again, Elam, the ball carrier, his 3rd carry of the game, and again, normally a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something wrong with McCray or Hall or what, but
be interested to see if this is a first drive thing. You never know from a coaching perspective what's happening within the team, or if this is where they're going to be limited in the backfield tonight. But either way, a good start for Northridge's offense as they're nearing midfield.
2nd down and 6. In motion, Ty Welton. High snap. They negotiate it. They hand to Elam, this time a little bit stronger running, as he gets about 4 off the right tackle over there for the Jaguars. Tackle coming up hard to make it. Dedrick Scott, the outside linebacker.
Looks like they ended up giving him the first down on that. Thought he was a little short at first.
Wow, it did look like he was a yard short. But they gave him the first down at the 50-yard line. So back-to-back first downs for the Jaguars.
This is that ball control that we were talking about in the pregame.
Another high snap with the wet football. Christensen gets it out to Welton, but he's tackled immediately, so that's a loss as that pursuit got him. Good play out there by James Kitt, the nickelback for the Yellow Jackets, number 0.
Yeah, it was a good play by Christensen just to stick with it for a second, complete the pass. I think if you're on that coaching sideline, you wish that ball had just been caught, and then you just start moving the ball upfield, get a yard. I think he danced a little bit too much for the coach's liking on that one. Not a disaster play as it could have been, just a loss of 4.
Magnus Grimmel is in there as a running back, and he's listed as a defensive back. So don't know what's going on with Northside, but they hand it to him as the first man through. He's going to pick up a couple, but they're hitting him hard. Again was Dedrick Scott, the linebacker. So 3rd down and 12 for the Jaguars.
Yeah, this is the position that they do not like being in. A run-heavy team, whether you have your starting running backs in there or not tonight, this isn't a position you want to be in when you don't love to throw the ball a lot. Even on the last 3rd down, they threw it short of the sticks and had to break a tackle. So this is a position McAdory's defense wants to live in tonight.
Keith Powell splits left. Welton up on the top. This time a good snap as Christensen with the ball fake getting pressured. Nice spin move. You can see his athleticism running for his life now, coming all the way back across the field, and he's got room, a lot of room. But closing quickly for McAdory. I thought he was going to have the first down, but Kitt came hard. And then also for McAdory, Nick Thomas came hard, so it's 4th and 3.
Another impressive play by Christensen just to get something out of it, but I will say before he crossed that line of scrimmage, he had a couple of guys on this side of the field that were looking for the ball. He didn't throw it, but if they had picked up blocks, it looked like they were just on different pages with their quarterback when you scramble, and sometimes that happens when you're not sure where the ball is.
So pretty dangerous to go for it here on the 43 in the wet, but they are not faking it. They hand it to Elam. Boy, he almost got taken down there by Thomas, still stretching, but he's going to be a yard short. So McAdory with some good defense there, holding. But there's a flag down. Let's take a look at that first of all for the Jaguars. Good job by the linebacker, or excuse me, Kitt, the nickelback, forcing him back in. And that goes against Northridge, so they'll decline that with Arvia Holmes, and McAdory will take over on downs.
I don't hate the call to go for that, even the play call, but when you're running a sweep like that, you got to start cutting up. And he made the right cut. It was just a little too late, a little too much ground to make up after going so wide on that sweep. That was a 9-play drive, and you barely cross midfield, and you give McAdory good field position. That's a tough start for Northridge.
So here come the McAdory Yellow Jackets. They'll play a couple of quarterbacks. This is Justin Patton, who normally starts. He's a junior. And there's a handoff inside, and there's that size of the Jaguars. Kawan Johnson with the carry. He had 164 yards last week. Or excuse me, I should say against Pleasant Grove in week 1. And he maybe gets a football length on that. 2nd, and we'll call it 10. Double slots on the look. They throw it out here on this near side, and that's a nice 5-yard gain as he found his man Trenton Charles, a senior, 5'9", 155-pounder, to make it a manageable 3rd and 5. Carter Fegans, he's the guy they like to get the ball to for their big play.
I think you can see early on what they want to do with Justin Patton is these short, quick throws, and they will take their shots. But being able to get into the flats, use the motion, use the play action, that's what McAdory is going to use a lot of.
McAdory hands off right side. Great cut. Good blocking. That's a first down as Darian Davis will get, we'll call it about 10 or 12 on that one, right? Davis with a great cut for the Yellow Jackets for that first down, running behind. And, you know, RV Holmes was talking about his offensive line, but they're not tiny up there, especially on that left side.
Yeah, you can talk about size. I think maybe on the defensive side for McAdory that they might not have as big of an edge. But they know how to block. They know how to move, and you're going to see these sweeps and these outside, these edge rushes. It might give them an advantage.
Ball fake by Patton. Going deep. He's got a man. That's his play man, Fagans, but he just overshot him. So they're trying to loosen up that front seven for Northridge with that kind of call here early. Second down and 10.
Yeah, Patton has thrown for over 200 yards in each of the first 2 games. He will take his shots. That was a pretty good ball. Timing was a little off.
It was there, right?
He was there. I think it was a good bump coverage from the safety. Hard for the receiver to get through that contact to be able to get to the ball, but a good shot deep.
All right, Johnson behind Patton, whistle and flags down procedure against the Yellow Jackets. That'll back them up 5 near midfield.
I think everybody on the offensive side of the ball was confused by who moved, but I saw 3 flags on the play, so all the officials must have known who moved.
Yeah, Javion McDuffie, Ryan Gray on that left side at left tackle, left guard. Very, very large. They're probably close to 280, 300 perhaps on that side. Handoff Johnson hitting the right side, though, but he was hit after about 2 yards and brought down over there by Jaden Cleveland, the senior linebacker, number 9 for the Jags. So second down and we'll call it 12. Or third down, excuse me, third down and maybe 13 on this spot. Timeout on the field. I assume that's a heat timeout. So
even in the rain, I think going to have a little bit of humidity.
All right, so on the heat timeout, both teams will huddle, obviously, and they take care of the ball, put a towel on that, and get that ready. Arvia Holmes, let's talk about him a little bit. He was the best Samford football wide receiver I ever saw. Terrific player at Samford in the early 2000s, and then started his coaching career, a bulk of it, 5 years at Hoover with Josh Niblett. So he's got a couple of state championship rings and had great success there and coached on a staff with other outstanding coaches for sure. Then moved to Pinson Valley with Bo Nix and that crew, minor for a few years before he got his first head coaching job right here at McAdory. He's got winning pedigree for sure. Third down 13, drop football. Patton gets a fortuitous bounce, throws it out to Fagans, and he's drugged down. Looked like he was going to get away from his man, but Cruz Lee grabbed just enough jersey to drag Fagans down, and that could have been a big play. So not the best start for the Yellow Jackets so far tonight.
Well, as you mentioned early on, talked about the rain and the weather having an impact. We've already seen maybe not too high of a snap, but certainly just a little too high. The ball being a little slippery on the quarterback's hands, flying in. That's the second drop snap we've seen, and it's impacted both drives. McAdory's coming to an end because of that one.
All right, so the guy that kicked off back to punt, Alan Rosales, big kid, so it's hard to snap it over his head. Elam is back deep for Northridge. Again, a key opener in the Region 4. Rosales does a directional punt, and it'll deaden and go out of bounds inside the 20. Nice job at the 16-yard line. So about a 32-yard kick maybe, but had its effect to back up the Jaguars here for their second offensive series.
Yeah, I think the biggest question now is Northridge coming out. Who do we see in the backfield? I think that's might not be a concern. You saw them move the ball fine. You know that a lot of this is going to be put on the offensive line. But it looks like, once again, Elam is starting this drive as the number 1 running back.
So Christensen at quarterback, number 1. Elam, again, normally a wide receiver, but running tailback. So we have not seen, again, Jacob Hall and Mr. McCray. Another high snap, but Christensen's taking him, hands to Elam inside, and he just doesn't have that size. And once again, McAdory controlling the defensive line of scrimmage most of this game so far. A lot of guys in there on that tackle. Kendrick Wilson, the defensive end, was in there. Jackson, Allen, Zaylen Copes. So a lot of good football being played by that front four right now for McAdory. So 2nd down and 8.
They look like a team that is prepared to face maybe up to 50 rushing attempts in this game.
Kapilovic, the tight end, goes to the end of the line, number 8. He's flanked. They throw it out there to get a strong side look. But again, it's that pursuit of McAdory that really does an outstanding job. And I think that was Brandon Hurd, the corner on this side, that really came up hard and got some help from secondary mates.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of man coverage on the edge, and if they can get a read on that play, you're just sitting and waiting, and you're able to make a play, and you're going to have a one-on-one tackle opportunity. So far, McAdory's making them.
3rd down and 5. In motion, Parker Klein. Christensen looks, dancing, still dancing. Football loose. I think McAdory fell on it. Let's see who got it. As Christensen got it knocked away, and Kylan Rice fell on it for the McAdory Yellow Jackets. So McAdory set inside the 15.
I think you saw that play coming once you saw him, Christensen, dance just a little bit too much. It wasn't a bad play. He got out to the edge. He tried to find a receiver. You got to know when to either tuck it and run or throw the ball away. And I think he just held it a little too long, and then eventually held it not long enough.
Yeah,
and gave it up to McAdory.
If the play's not there after, it's that quarterback clock, right, that David Cutcliffe, the former Duke coach, always talked about. If it's not there after that many seconds, you might want to make a decision, either run or throw it away. But he didn't, and it's fortuitous for McAdory. So they've got the first turnover of the game inside the 15. There's Johnson off the right side, and he'll get about 4 or 5 running over there. And it looks like instead of McDuffie and Gray, who I was bragging on, they want to run behind Cornelius Chaverst and Brendan Walker on that right side.
Yeah, I think maybe Northridge saw the same film, or McAdory thought Northridge saw the same film and thought, hey, maybe we need to split it up a little bit more.
They're going with pace now, and this time Johnson was drugged down. Big Caden Rice, 6'3", 330 on the inside there for the Jaguars, just reaching out a forearm and dragging him down. So it'll be 3rd down. You can still get a first down getting to the 4. Oh, there's a flag down. Let's see what they're discussing.
I think there might have been a substitution problem with the Northridge player not getting off in time. Here comes the signal from the ref.
All right, while we're taking a little break on the action, let's go down to Chris Osborne on the sidelines. Chris. All right, so we got a little technical difficulty in the rain. That's expected a little bit. We'll figure that out and get back down to Chris on the sidelines. Meanwhile, here comes McAdory, and they have a first down and goal. According to the chains, pitch back Johnson. Got a hole. Boy, it closed quickly, though, didn't it? Looked like he had all kind of room to run, but coming up hard was C.J. Stinson, the senior cornerback, and he closed that off pretty quickly, and he got about a yard or so. Now it's 3rd down and 1.
And good play by Northridge. While we were cut away there, the penalty was a legal substitution. It ended up being half the distance to the goal, which, again, no automatic first downs. That's why it's 3rd and short.
Handoff Johnson. Up the middle, he's got close to a touchdown. Did he get in? No, they won't give it to him, but he's got about a foot to go, but they'll get a brand-new set of downs for the McAdory Yellow Jackets, and I think Arvia Holmes will take that and run some clock and keep the ball away from the Jaguars as well.
Yeah, I think this, I don't want to jinx anything. It's been a relatively quick first quarter so far, even with a couple of quick snaps from McAdory. We'll see how long they take to try to get into the end zone here with 3 out wide.
Michael Barnes, the running quarterback, is in now for the Yellow Jackets. flanked by Johnson. Barnes gets it, and he'll just waltz in. It's pretty cool to come in for your first play a foot away from pay dirt and score a touchdown. That's exactly what Barnes does. He plays a lot, though, as they play two quarterbacks truly in their system. So, touchdown, McAdory.
You're going to see him a lot in other situations, but that right there is the definition of vulturing a touchdown, right? But look how easy this is for him. He comes in, he takes the snap. By the time he gets his eyes up, he realizes, hey, the end zone's right there, and gives us a little dance, too, after celebrating.
So they snap it on the two-point conversion, and that's good, as the McAdory team did like everybody else, it seems like, in high school football, right? They put a bunch of linemen on the left, got a couple of guys snapping the football, and they scored it. There it again is the remnants of it, if you will. Nick Thomas, the defensive back, running it in. So 8-0 McAdory with 1:35 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I want to see if we could see that two-point conversion again, but I thought it was really interesting on the snap. It looked to me that he was either down short of the goal line or fumbled while reaching for the goal line, but the only person who seemed to argue it was Northridge's sideline, and they were the furthest away from it, so I'm not sure how much you can trust it. Either way, a good drive, and that's what you want to do once you get a turnover and a takeaway on defensive side. You have to capitalize on it, and that's what can start a game like that. McAdory in charge. Remember, Northridge was down 14-0 last week. This isn't anything new for them. They'll stick with their offense, and they won't change up too much. They're going to continue to try to run the ball.
So Rosales will kick it away back deep again for the Jags is Elam as well as Tubbs. Kick, Elam will grab it at the 8. Running inside and running into traffic right there. Nice special teams play for McAdory. Coming up hard to make that tackle is Cameron Ford. Let's go down real quickly. Chris Osborne back again. Chris, what you got?
Hey guys, we've got the principal of McAdory High School right here, Mr. Andrew Reed. Principal Reed, tell us what's going on off the field here at McAdory.
Well, we got a lot of community support at the beginning of the year. We got our PTA coming back this year for the first time in many years, and so it's been really exciting to get the community back involved with what's going on here at the school.
Got a lot of parents out here sitting in the rain. That's just an indication of what you got going on.
Oh yeah, we have a great community here at Mac.
Back to you guys.
And we'll check back with Chris there on that. Backup quarterback is in for Northridge now, number 12. And that is, well, that was Elam, I guess, running that. I thought he took the snap, though. And I think he did take the snap. So he's been taking the snap from Christensen. And right now, another wrinkle because Elam's in there, the quarterback, right? Am I mistaken?
That is who's taking the snaps, and I think...
and now they've got Grimmel in there behind the center. So we'll see who gets the snap. No, that is Elam with the snap, running left side. This is not what they've showed on film for their couple of games. Elam gets about 4 over there, but he was really hit hard by Dedrick Scott, who's been in on 3 or 4 tackles already tonight.
Like you see Coach Holmes getting out here and letting him know, look at who's the quarterback right now. Don't expect him to throw it. I wanted to see how long it would take for McAdory's defense to adjust. I think Holmes is making sure it adjusts on this play. We'll see how Northridge adjusts now. Just a little bit of a battle if we even get a snap. It looks like we'll have to get one more snap in this quarter.
Clock melting away, getting close to 10 now. We'll see if they get one here, and they likely will. Elam again with the snap. Grimmel, right side. They've got a hole, but again, McAdory closes it well. Tumbling him up was Nick Thomas coming up hard. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 when we get back, but we're going to flip-flop ends here. We'll take a break. It's 8-0 McAdory. You're watching the Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeffco Ed family. This year, we are seizing a day to shape the future. You'll see that message on our social media channels, our website, and signs around your school. At Jeff Coed, we're all about offering numerous opportunities to our students. From our highly rated international baccalaureate school, to our signature academies, to our career tech and fine arts programs, to our elementary theme schools. We're looking to seize the day, every day, and capitalize on every opportunity in front of us. Seize the day, shape the future. This is Jeff Coed.
All right, welcome back to Jeff Coed TV. Scott Griffin here, Caleb Turrentine, our great crew here, bringing you our third football game in our existence on Jeff Coed TV. McAdory and Northridge out of Tuscaloosa for this Region 4 matchup. McAdory holding their own right now, even though not with the size on the lines that Northridge can bring to the table, but really fighting hard. Northridge has not done a lot here. Another high snap again. Elam gets it, but he don't get a lot going on because those linebackers are just closing. That's Kylan Rice, the first to hit Elam. They do get a first down, but we're just kind of perplexed up here with the starting quarterback out. I didn't see him get hurt for the Jaguars, but Elam has kind of gotten, 90% of the snaps so far.
Yeah, and he's looked good, a little bit better running the ball with him taking direct snaps as opposed to taking a handoff. And I think you got to credit Northridge's coaching staff a little bit, whether they knew what would be going on tonight, missing running backs, missing quarterback, whether that's because of the turnover or because of something we didn't see. It's an impressive adjustment, and things are working so far.
Grimmel again, this time thrown for a loss, trying to find his way. But that was a big-time play by Rice. Again, well, actually, Kendrick Wilson was the first to hit him. Big number 35 dragging him down, and a little help from Kylan Rice as well. So, second down and 12. The hole seems to be there, but McAdory's really closing it quickly with their speed.
I think Northridge's line hasn't done a terrible job. Most of the credit on offense has to go to them. But you're right, McAdory is able to get to the play just a little bit quicker.
Elam, another high snap, trying to go left. That's what I'm talking about right there. You saw number 35, Kendrick Wilson. It looked like he had room to run, but that pursuit chases him down. And does he even get a yard on that one?
I think he loses a couple more. I mean, that's a great angle right there. You think he just took a snap and is ready to go, and all of a sudden a defender pops off the bottom of the screen to be able to chase him down. That's probably how he felt too. And just like that, you get into a third and long situation, and Riley Christensen is back in the game. Third down and 13.
Yeah, so I don't think he was hurt. I don't know. We haven't been watching him, but he's back in now on 3rd and 13, and Elam's still flanked to his right in there. And they ball fake this, but go back to the screen on the other side. Good blocking, great call, but he falls down on the wet turf. He had his man William Allen in front of him at 250. I think he would have gotten the first down, but he tripped on the turf with the wet stuff.
Well, I think you got to really be biting yourself as a coaching staff. You see a play call work like that well, and just the turf monster comes up and gets you. And again, off the top of the show, you mentioned the rain and the wet field. That's at least number 3 play that we've seen tonight with an impact.
So 4th down and 4. They went for it on the 40s, and so they're certainly going to go here. But timeout, McAdory, as Arvia Holmes wants to make sure he can get this ball back on down. So timeout on the field. Again, it looks like the rain has subsided, but it's still obviously wet from having fallen for a couple of hours out here. And it certainly has cooled it off a great deal for the players.
I do think you're looking at that screen pass with the play call, even if you think they should have been able to get it because of obviously slipping. But the fact is, that was a great play call. It cut in half, at more than half, this 4th down opportunity. I think if you didn't get anything, you were going to have to punt the ball. Now you're in a position where you can go for this again, and you don't risk punting in the rain, a long snap in the rain, a kind of disaster that could happen there. So that screen play, even though it could have gotten more, that could be the difference in this drive extending now only 5 yards to go.
Good shot of Arvia Holmes involved as a head coach. in on that defensive meeting. 4th down and about 5, very long 5, the football at the 35-yard line. They'll have to get right to the 30. Christensen stops, throws, a little bit too much cushion out there. Keith Powell had a 5-yard cushion. Not sure what was going on with the secondary there, but Marquise Cottingham just gave him too much room.
Yeah, I think you saw that was the main guy they wanted to go to coming out of a timeout. You take your chance. You hope that he is backed off a little, and he was. Good read by Christensen, and maybe a couple of plays like that gives him a little bit more confidence, a little bit more momentum now that he's staying in there as the number 1 quarterback.
Easy pitch and catch for Northridge. In the pistol again, Grimmel is the back. He gets it going around in, and you're just not gonna run on the perimeter against this football team. Dedrick Scott coming up hard. Take a look.
I mean, I think for a second Grimmel thought he was going to be able to get loose there. Suddenly he's holding down on his ankles, but it looks like...
Again, the closing speed of McAdory has been impressive defensively in this game. I don't think Northridge against Calera or American Christian has seen these kind of athletes defensively that they're seeing tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the difference in rushing off the edge. You can see it right here. That play clock was reset, and it's still at 25. Northridge is going to take their time. There is no reason they feel the need to snap this early in the play clock.
Yeah, the clock just melting away at 15. So they will get set now. 2nd down and about 13. Straight handoff. Boy, the penetration there again. We're saying it every play. This time Zaylene Copes comes in and gets involved in the action.
That happened all too fast for Northridge. I think some of the inside runs, you think the outside runs aren't working. Suddenly then you go to an inside run, your offensive linemen are worn down. I mentioned McAdory might not have the depth on the defensive line, but I think what's been important about their defense so far tonight is that the linebackers are making plays. The cornerbacks are making plays. Everyone on the edge has been making plays, allowing that defense to maybe not exert as much energy and save it for a big play like that.
3rd down and 17. They got to get to the 14 for a 1st down. Spread field from that look. Christensen going deep. He's got a man against triple coverage. Threw it too far, and I think that's a pickoff. Interception, Brandon Hurd. Looked like it was thrown to Brandon Hurd. Take a look.
A really good coverage. You play him over the top. You go that wide. They don't take a lot of shots deep. He knew exactly where to play. He had safety help underneath on the receiver. He played over the top. And you're right. That was like a basket catch for him in the end zone.
So Hurd gets the pickoff. 2nd turnover for Northridge already in this game. They had a fumble earlier, now an interception. So here comes McAdory, and they'll go back to Justin Patton. Their throwing quarterback. He also can run a little bit, but he's mainly known for throwing, and motion is Fagans. Handoff up the middle, not much going there. Good play by Northridge, knocking him back. Jaden Cleveland in there. Anthony Heitch, a sophomore, also in for the Jags.
I'll be interested to see if McAdory changes anything about their offense with Northridge controlling the clock as much as they have. McAdory has the lead, and I wonder if they'll slow down their offense or if they will try to up the tempo to take advantage of it.
2nd down and 8. Kawan Johnson in there as Patton changes the play in the blocking assignments, looks like. Play action. Going deep as he threw off his back foot, and that was going to be errant because he was throwing off his back foot. Let's go quickly to the sideline. Chris Osborne down there with another guest. Chris.
Hey, good evening again, guys. I have the Jefferson County Superintendent, Dr. G, as they call him. Dr. G, you're in the rain, but you got a busy night ahead.
Yes, I do, man. But, you know, there's nothing like a Friday night where you can come and watch some football, watch your children participate, and be among the fans and the parents and the children.
We were just talking. Tell me how many games you're going to try to catch tonight.
Well, I have 2 on my schedule tonight, but there's a third one that's nearby, so we might catch 3 games in one night.
All right, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see the boss man checking on us there. Walker Goslin, the superintendent for Jefferson County School System, stopping by on this 3rd game for Jeffco Ed TV. They throw it out there in the flat and don't get a lot happening there. So 4th down now and 8. And Rosales should come in for the kick for McAdory.
Yeah, that's a stop Northridge needed, and this is where you might start seeing some impact from all these long Northridge drives, because they get a 3 and out, and all of a sudden McAdory's defense has to go back out there after just stopping a 10-play drive and getting a turnover. Yeah, that was big, and they lived up to it, but now they got to get back out there. How will they hold up throughout the night?
Rosales gets the low snap and kicks a low kick. It's returnable, but fumbled. Big hit there. Football loose. McAdory falls on it. What a big hit on special teams for McAdory as Braylon Ellington laid the wood to it. Watch this.
And that's a clean hit, too. He bobbled the ball. He didn't hit him too high in the head. That is a clean hit. That's what you're taught to do as a gunner, and being able to get another guy down there to recover the fumble as well. Turnover number 3 of the night.
Man, Ellington laid the wood to him on that. So McAdory gets their 3rd turnover to their advantage, and now they got the football at the 37-yard line and whistle. And is that a heat timeout again?
That is.
Okay, right in the middle of the play, heat timeout. We'll take a break and come back. We'll take it with them. 8-0 McAdory, but they're threatening with their 3rd turnover to their favor. You're watching Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeffco Ed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years. So let's seize the day and shape the future this 2024-25 school year.
All right, back to action here. Jeffco Ed TV. Kawan Johnson off the right side. He's breaking down to the 15-yard line. So a huge run, 22 yards for Kawan Johnson off the right side. Here's a look at his action.
That's McAdory's biggest play of the night. A good cut near the line of scrimmage to be able to break free there, get into the red zone. Biggest offensive play of the night. They have 3 turnovers. It's 8-0. It feels like they're dominating this game even more, but that's the only offensive play they've had that gained more than 10 yards.
Good run by Kawan Johnson and good work. Seems like, again, it's happening on that right side for McAdory. Fagan in motion comes to the left side. Handoff, Johnson again left to right, breaking free on the right tackle. He's got another 8 over there before he's drugged down. And it'll be 2nd down and 2. Johnson coming out now for the Yellow Jackets.
I'll be intrigued if we start seeing Michael Barnes again at some point here. He's down here on the sideline looking over to his coach waiting for a play call. He knows once somewhere around this time, that's when he'll get his call again.
Darian Davis now flanking Patton. He's got the football running up the middle, and he's finally drugged down, getting his shoe tops there for the Jags. He's slow to get up there. Cleveland went low. Caden Rice at 330 went high, and that had to knock the breath out of Darian Davis, and he's going to come out for a breather. Checking in for McAdory, Micah Pleasant, a backup running back for the Yellow Jackets.
I'm surprised not to see Barnes on a 3rd and short situation, especially with that power formation right in front of him.
3rd down and 2. Handoff Pleasant, his first carry. He's got the first down, maybe another yard or so. And again, big number 99, Caden Rice, the junior, on the stop. So if you're running in the interior against that kind of resistance, that means you're doing some work up front blocking, right? For McAdory.
No, yeah, and I think what I mentioned, thinking Northridge would get the ball back and tiring out McAdory's defense.
The opposite's happening, right?
Northridge's defense didn't get a chance to get off the field because of the muff punt.
Yeah.
They had all that energy after a stop, and they had to come down here, and I think you can see it wearing on them right now.
The very thing we were talking about, McAdory was worried about, they are enforcing against the Jaguars. There's another run off left tackle. Again by Pleasant, and he's inside the 5. And McAdory's just grinding it out in this physical, wet football game. And now coming back in, Michael Barnes, the running quarterback, number 18, as Patton goes out.
A little bit of Northridge's own medicine here. That first half clock is ticking away. Northridge finally starting to realize it. Only just over 3 minutes to go here. And McAdory gets the ball first in the second half. So if they punch one in here, Northridge could be in trouble.
All right, be sure to join us next Friday night. We're going to be at Oak Grove High School. Love going out there. It's where our first broadcast was last year in baseball against Corner. The Tigers in football will host the Pleasant Grove Spartans in a Class 4A Region 4 showdown. Spartans with Darryl LeBeau, terrific coach, been in several state championships. We're going to be on the air at 6:40 with the Jeffco Ed pregame show. And then the game of the week comes your way, of course, at 7 o'clock right here on Jeffco Ed TV. So that's going to be another tough region game there for Pleasant Grove and Oak Grove. Battle of the Groves on the west side.
Yeah, I love looking at that. I got to say, I got to give credit to anyone whoever made that graphic. I see it on my Facebook. I see it on my Instagram. And you know what? It looks good enough where I'm like, I'm sharing that. I'm letting people know where I'm going to be on Friday night because I want people to watch. And the graphic just looks good, so well done. Well done to the entire team.
8-0 McAdory here with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the first half. The rain has subsided. It's still wet, and the ball has been a factor as far as slipperiness. Patton is back in at quarterback. Fagan's in motion. The hand going the other way. Motion to the right, run to the left. Pleasant again is keeping all the carries here inside the 20 in the red zone. Or actually, that was number 15, Kawan Johnson with the carry, so he's back in there. And now it's going to be at about the 3-yard line, and looks like some power football here for McAdory. And
here comes
Barnes back in, the running quarterback. He's got it on the left side, and he's got the touchdown. So Barnes has been in, 2 or 3 plays. He's got 2 touchdowns. It's going to look good if we had newspapers anymore. It would look good in the newspapers tomorrow. So McAdory 14 right now. Northridge nothing.
2 rushes, 4 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think that's seeing how the NFL does start this week, and I'll go ahead and say that's a pretty good fantasy football stat line right there.
That'll score it. That's right.
2 touchdowns on 2 carries. Impressive just by anyone, but to be able to have a weapon like that you can rely on, especially when those handoffs, Northridge was holding their own. They were giving up a couple, but they were holding their own, not letting them in the end zone. It's tougher in a direct snap situation.
High snap, but Thomas gets it down, but it's blocked. Rosales has his kick blocked. So fortunate for McAdory, they went for 2 at the first, so they still hold a 14-0 lead, but they don't add to it. So we'll keep it here. 2:35 to go in the first quarter here with McAdory and Northridge. September 11th is always a solemn day of remembrance for our country, as you know. Once again this year, the Marine Corps, JROTC at Shades Valley High School, will host a 9/11 memorial ceremony. We're going to carry it live on Jeffco Ed TV starting at 9:15 in the morning. That's next Wednesday, 9:15 right here on Jeffco Ed TV. That'll be a very, very cool ceremony right there at Shades Valley High School. Rosales is set to kick. Northside needs to get something positive happening, Caleb. I feel like before this first half, even if they don't score, just something going in their favor here.
Yeah, and I think 2:35, that's not the kind of offense they like running. It's just a 2-minute drill. We'll see if they let Ratty Christensen let loose. And again, I think you have to because of the fact that the Yellow Jackets get the ball to start the second half. I think this is a situation where you have to at least attempt to get some points out of this drive.
So the ball is fielded by number 2, Tubbs, and he brings it out to the 33-yard line. Special teams tackle for McAdory. Jeremiah Ware, a wide receiver, back up, getting in on that tackle.
Looks like Christensen is in the huddle. He will be coming out to lead the offense, so you would expect at least passing being an option as opposed to when he wasn't on the field.
It's been a very odd first half for Northside. Again, we expected to see Jacob Hall, Jalen McCray, another running back, and there's a handoff to Grimmel, and he's going to get a couple. But again, that speed of McAdory just coming up hard there. Trey Blanding's in, a backup linebacker was there on that. But Jalen McCray had 200 yards versus Calera. That's just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's going on.
You can't speculate too much about what's happening within the team.
No, because we don't know about grades and
injuries
and all that. But it's just an odd.
It's not
thing
something
tonight.
we expected to see, and
not for both of them.
Correct. Yeah, the two leading backs.
2nd down and 8. Another wild snap. Grimmel just takes it away from Christensen and then falls down on the wet turf. But he wasn't going to go very far anyway because Kendrick Wilson was waiting over there at defensive end and some other Jackets.
Another near disaster in that backfield. Good hands to be able to just grab that real quick.
Again, Trey Blanding, a backup backer at number 20 there. There's a good look at Arvia Holmes, Midfield High School product. Head coach here, outstanding guy, lost his mom in the last week or so. Very close to his mother, very tough, difficult time for him to navigate right here at the beginning of a football season. So certainly our thoughts and prayers to Arvia Holmes and his family around him. He's an only child, single mother, so they were very close growing up on this west side of Birmingham. Timeout on the field. So McAdory will talk about it, and Northridge wants to talk about it here on 3rd down and 10.
I think Northridge has taken it. I mean, they let the play clock go, and the clock was ticking as well. We're down to a minute left in this first half. I think they wanted to kind of see if they could get some yards, see how much they want to risk it. And then I believe they had a starting tackle lose his helmet, and he had to go out for a play. And in order to get him back on the field, you have to call a timeout. So I think that's what the philosophy is behind that timeout. Get him back on the field, get to full strength at the line, especially on 3rd and 10, where you think that they might try to take another shot. But how much of a shot as the secondary is clearly playing over the top.
If you got a background in special education, Jeff Coed wants to talk to you. Right now, qualifying exceptional education employees can earn an extra $4,200 a year. More details can be found on our district's social media channels. And to apply, just head on over to jeffcoed.com. 3rd down and 10. Christensen with trips up top. Grimmel stays in to block. Christensen gets rid of it. Again, cushion on this left side. So for the 2nd time on 3rd and long, they complete a pass. Parker Klein is the man. Now, over there to defend was Kendrick Wilson, who dropped back from his defensive end outside linebacker position, but again, too much cushion.
I think McAdory lives with it in that situation. Obviously, they could have been great to get the ball back, but you're not giving up anything over the top. You saw on their interception, that's what their secondary was doing, was playing over the top. I think they might be giving it up on these curls and on these button hooks on the outside, just for now, and then maybe you jump one later in the night.
1st and 10, throw off his back foot and a little errant there. He was trying to find Klein again. It wasn't going to go very far, even if it were completed. And defending for McAdory over there was Liberte Hedgeman, a linebacker.
49 seconds, and I think you're thinking you need roughly at least 30, 35 yards to attempt a field goal to just get on the scoreboard in the first half.
Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris.
Hey, guys, I'm over here on the sideline, and we are in the construction zone. So, guys, tell me your name and tell me what's going on with these vests.
I'm Alyssa.
I'm Bree. I'm Kennedy. I'm Brooke.
So what are y'all building?
We're building an empire.
Empire, McAdory.
Go
We gotta see
They said they're building an empire.
All right. While Chris was talking to the construction crew, you saw the turnover here. Here it is again, a forced fumble. And then Zaylen Copes picks it up and goes to pay dirt.
Yeah, Christensen once again having one hand on the ball. The screen pass wasn't there. It looked like he panicked a little bit, tried to look back the other way. Ball gets knocked loose. Turnover number 4. That one leads to a touchdown. I'm not sure how Northridge comes back from this kind of feel, again, especially with McAdory getting the ball first in the second half.
4 turnovers in one half has been just hard for Northridge to navigate through. Rosales on to kick the extra point. It is up and good. 21-0. McAdory blanking the Jaguars so far on this wet Friday night in the 3rd week of high school football action. Man, what a turnaround.
I think that's one of those plays where obviously hindsight is 20/20, but I think you live with a handoff. You did not get much on those first couple plays. You had that first down on the curl, but on that screen pass, you got to know when to get rid of the ball, especially in a situation like this, especially with limited time. Even if you don't fumble that ball, you're going to spend 10 seconds to get probably nothing. So I think this situational football has favored McAdory so far, and it's really killing Northridge right now.
On a 3rd and 10. So, turnover number 4. McAdory has turned, I think, all 3, at least 3 of them into points, right, off turnovers. So, in basketball, that'd be a great percentage. 21-0. Rosales will kick it away. McAdory having their way in this opener for Region 4 here in 6A. Tubbs has it at the 15. Returning left again. Long way to run. He's got a hole. 35 dancing, and he'll get drugged down at the 40. So a good return. Finally something positive for the Jaguars there. Again, more special team action as Jeremiah Wares made back-to-back tackles on special teams.
Yeah, I think if he had seen the seam on the right side, they might have been able to get on the scoreboard, would have changed the feel going into halftime maybe a little bit. I'd be surprised if Northridge goes anywhere other than to the ground and into the locker room to wrap up this first half.
So Northridge appears like they're going to take a knee, and they do. I don't think I've seen a snap back to quarterback with the 2 guys near the center. What's the point if the quarterback drops the ball? But that's an interesting formation. That'll do it for the first half. 21-0. McAdory winning against Northridge. We'll take a break, come back. So we'll have Chris Osborne down on the field for Arvia Holmes, and he's got him now. Chris, what you got?
Yeah, I've got the coach from McAdory right here. Coach, you're up big right now. How do you keep this up?
We just got to keep being physical, man. I know they was going to show up and they wanted to be physical, and our guys, they stood up to the test, and we're ready to go, man. We're on our home field. You know what I'm saying? We got to protect our home field. So when they come out of the locker room, they're going to play with that same intensity.
Coach, this is a region game. This game is important.
Absolutely. It's for the region championship. I tell them every single time we play a region game, it's for the region championship. So we're playing it like it's a region championship, and that's how we're going to continue to play it.
The last thing, Coach, your defense is fast. Explain to me how you guys are manipulating this defense.
Swarm. Just swarm to the ball. Everybody swarm to the ball. The ball is the most important thing out here. It's wet, so we got to protect the ball, and we got to take the ball away, and that's what we're doing right now.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Arvia Holmes there. 21-0. The Yellow Jackets on top of Northridge. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a lot of activity, the bands, and much more. You're watching Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeff Co-Ed family. We are excited to announce our signature academies. Here's what you can look forward to.
I try to give you a little bit of everything. So I'm really getting the workforce ready. We're trying to get electricians out of here, industrial maintenance technicians, single pole switch, wired to a receptacle, wired to a light source.
This is a great class to learn how to do things for life.
They will learn how to do some electrical work at home, how to do some of their own plumbing, and how to maintain their yard, shrubbery, and what it is to plant a garden. So there's certain things they learn here that they'll take with them.
That's leaking around there.
This is going to provide students with skills to be able to step into those positions to help out in a market that is definitely hiring.
I like that we do a lot of hands-on activities.
We actually perform experiments that an actual lab technician would do in the lab, or a forensic technician or forensic anthropologist would do out in the real world.
And finally, we want to take a few minutes to spotlight. I do like this class a lot because it's getting information out to our peers, and it's fun. It's not just information, it's also activities. So letting people know guys, this is a fun production to be in.
Learn that one and then move back to a safe.
I really enjoyed just working with the robots. I loved the robotic arm stuff.
If a student is interested in engineering, if they've been told, every year they're really good at math and science and you need to go into engineering, this is a good place for them to come.
I'm the future of the United States of America.
Leadership is responsibility.
In our course, we teach life skills, and everybody needs that. Once you leave school, you still got to present yourself in a professional manner. You still have to go and learn. And at the same time, you can be a mentor as well as role model.
It helps you get a leg up in whatever, any career, any job. It's got a background and you know what you're doing. It's ready to get you out into the workforce.
I like music technology because I feel like it explains what goes on past the lyrics in songs. I feel like it really helps you understand where the beats come from, how different a song sounds without lyrics.
Jeff Co-Ed's signature academies. Come join us.
Welcome back to McAdory. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turntine here. And I teased the bands, as we call it in the business, and they're still in the stands. They are playing, but they have not come out on the field. I guess they're not going to with the weather. I don't think I've seen that. We're talking about it on a turf field before because there's really nothing that's going to damage a turf field, but they are choosing to stay in the stands on the rain. So we're going to have a empty field and just take a few minutes here and get back to it. We do have a look at that last turnover here that set up this touchdown. It really came out of nowhere. Christensen dropping back. Well, actually, this is the extra point that secured it 21-0 for them. But Christensen dropped back. He got sacked. And here it is right here.
You see him starting to set up that screen pass, and it wasn't there. Really well played on the edge. Able to force a fumble. No Northridge player was in the area. The linemen were already downfield trying to set up a screen pass. The running back was downfield. 1-to-1 times, I think Coach Holmes is probably okay. Don't fall on that ball. Pick it up and run with it. And if you can pick it up cleanly, as he did, that shows that gave him the 3-touchdown lead.
Zaylen Copes with the pickup scoop for 6. And that made it 21-0. Look at those names on the scoreboard. Bo Jackson, we forget he played here, right? Won a Heisman, obviously. And Jackie Klein, who played at Alabama in the USFL, NFL career as well. Then Larry Mason, same thing, also USFL, NFL career. So McAdory's put out some outstanding football teams and football players for sure. There's a look at the McAdory band that's just playing as they sit in the stands. So still entertaining the fans here at McAdory High School on this cool, rainy evening. Again, the rain has subsided, but the field's still wet. And that's what we've got so far. So we got a few scores here before we go to a break, and we'll get some scores here in Jefferson County. Caleb, what have you found over there?
Well, the one from last night is obviously one to mention. Minor actually played another Thursday night game. They beat Woodlawn 48 to 27. And then there are several other games going on tonight to keep an eye on with region play beginning, and I'm still collecting those scores. So before I get to the scores, I do want to talk about a little bit of stats after I counted up some numbers. And what I realized was that right now, Northridge has more offensive yards than McAdory. Northridge has 66 yards, and McAdory only has 61 yards of offense. That doesn't happen very often when it's 21-0 in the other way, but McAdory only with 61 rush yards, 20 total offensive plays. The difference is McAdory only has 2 negative plays, while Northridge has 9 plus the 4 turnovers. It's the negative plays that are making the difference, not necessarily the positive ones on offense.
All right, let's go down to Chris Osborne on this side. We're not going to Chris. Hang on, Chris. We'll get to you in just a second. So we'll take a listen to McAdory. They're not on the field, but they're still entertaining the crowd here. So let's take a listen to the Yellow Jacket marching band. And we'll take a break, come back with more. You're watching Halftime, 21-0 McAdory, the Jeffco Ed TV Game of the Week.
Hello, Jeffco Ed family. We are excited to announce our signature academies. Here's what you can look forward to.
I try to give you a little bit of everything. So I'm really getting the workforce ready. We're trying to get electricians out of here, industrial maintenance technicians, single pole switch, wired to a receptacle, wired to a light source.
This is a great class to learn how to do things for life.
They will learn how to do some electrical work at home, how to do some of their own plumbing, and how to maintain their yard, shrubbery, and what it is to plant a garden. So there's certain things they learn here that they'll take with them.
That's leaking around there.
This is going to provide students with skills to be able to step into those positions to help out in a market that is definitely hiring.
I like that we do a lot of hands-on activities.
We actually perform experiments that an actual lab technician would do in the lab, or a forensic technician or forensic anthropologist would do out in the real world.
And finally, we want to take a few minutes to spotlight. I do like this class a lot because it's getting information out to our peers, and it's fun. It's not just information, it's also activities. So letting people know, like, guys, this is a fun production to be in.
Learn that one and then move back to like a safe.
I really enjoyed just working with the robots. I loved the robotic arm stuff.
If a student is interested in engineering, if they've been told, you know, every year they're really good at math and science and you need to go into engineering, this is a good place for them to come.
I'm the future of the United States of America.
Leadership is responsibility.
In our course, we teach life skills, and everybody needs that. You know, once you leave school, you still got to present yourself in a professional manner. You still have to go and learn. And at the same time, you can be a mentor as well as role model.
It helps you get a leg up in whatever, any career, any job. It's got a background and you know what you're doing. It's ready to get you out into the workforce.
I like music technology because I feel like it explains what goes on past the lyrics in songs. I feel like it really helps you understand, like, you know, where the beats come from, you know, how different a song sounds without lyrics.
Jeff Coed's signature academies. Come join us.
All right, guys, we're right here on the field. You have questions, and I've got answers for you. I've got Keith Pritchard, the band director from McAdory, and we were having a conversation. He's going to explain why the bands are mutually agreeing to not be on the field.
Well, basically tonight it's the weather. The rain consistently coming down. The majority of our woodwind instruments do not need to get wet. It's a couple $100 to have them repadded, which the rain is really going to mess the pads up on the woodwinds. Not to mention some of our clarinets are actually made of wood. So getting wet and drying back and forth will cause those to crack. You know, your average clarinet's about anywhere between $500 to $1,000. So to replace that, it would just be outrageous.
That was my next thing. I mean, it's a big sacrifice sometimes for parents to buy these instruments or rent them.
Absolutely, and we want to, we want to be good stewards of everything that we have. And this was just a decision that we made not to go on the field. We're in the stands with our brass instruments and percussion. They're going to weather the rain a lot better than our woodwinds in the long run, so we just had to make that decision.
Tell me a little bit about the McAdory band, how many members you have and the plans that you got coming up.
Sure, we have 100 members in the band. We've got, of course, football season, and that'll go through the playoffs, hopefully deep into the playoffs. Go Jackets. And then we'll be 2 competitions, the end of September and the beginning of October. We'll be at Pinson Valley and then Aniana on October 5th. A couple parades. There's a homecoming parade, the local McCalla Christmas parade that we'll participate in. And that'll be our fall Christmas concert sometime in December.
And the final thing, I talked to the principal earlier, Principal Reed, and he said that the PTO is up and running. What's parental support like here for the band members?
Oh, it's really strong. We have a great group of parents that come out. We run the concession stands here at McAdory, so we have parents that volunteer on both sides to do that. We have parents that travel with us, support the team and support the band, and same thing when we go to competitions. We have a ton of parents that go with us and travel to support our students when we're out there. So it's overall very good.
All right, thank you so much for your time. So there you go, guys. You had the question, and I provide the answer. That's what I do for you guys up in the booth.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think safety is important for these bands. If they can still play and entertain, I think the fans around here are going to be just fine. But while we have some time, we're going to take a look at some of the other games from around Jefferson County tonight involving Jeff Coed teams. As I mentioned earlier, Minor did defeat Woodlawn last night, 48-27. That continues a great start to the season for them. We're still searching for some of these scores, but I'll make sure to give the updates that we do have on. Parker and Gardendale, one to watch. Parker is number 2 in Class 6A. Gardendale and Parker scoreless at the end of the first quarter was the last update we got on that. Oxford, Shades Valley, they are tied at 14 in the second quarter. Mountain Brook and Hueytown, another one to watch. Mountain Brook number 8 in 6A. Hueytown still trying to get their first win of the season. Spartans lead Hueytown 14-7 in the second quarter. A lot of good games tonight, though. I think Pleasant Grove Fairfield is certainly one that people are still looking at. Pleasant Grove looking for their first win after losing to McAdory in the season opener, but they're still ranked number 2 in 4A. Fultondale and Good Hope is another one. And then Oak Grove and Holt. Oak Grove, as we mentioned earlier, is where we're going to be next week. There's some good games to keep an eye on. We're continuing to bring you some scores throughout the night. With that, obviously, if you're looking for other games, Hoover, Hillcrest, and those a big one. Hoover leading that one. You have Vestavia and Hewitt Trussell. A lot of big games in the state of Alabama. But right here, McAdory leads Northridge 21-0. We're going to get back with the second half right here on the Jeff Coed TV Game of the Week.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years. So let's seize the day and shape the future this 2024-25 school year.
All right, welcome back to the Jeff Coed TV Game of the Week. McAdory and Northridge. McAdory in control right now, 21-0 on the heels of 4 turnovers that have really helped them out. They've really controlled the game, too, in an odd way, but if we had stats, real-time stats, we wouldn't say that McAdory was dominating in that fashion, but at the line of scrimmage, they're playing well. Defensively, they're really closing on the football.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Holmes talked about there at halftime, was the fact that it's the pursuit, it's getting to the ball, and because it's wet, it's getting to the ball and taking the ball. But you're right, McAdory only has 61 yards of offense on 20 plays. They're only averaging 3 yards a play. It's the field position because of the turnovers, and then obviously the defensive touchdown that's making this look like a lopsided score.
Yeah, and just picking it up, having short fields to score on, and again, to your point, is a defensive touchdown as well. So second half, what do you expect from this thing? Because Arvio Holmes was so concerned, but right now all of his concerns have been invalid because McAdory's dominating.
Well, I think what's interesting is that every coach wants to get the ball to start the second half, right? But the way McAdory's defense is playing, if I was McAdory, I think I'd want Northridge to get the ball. You're on that side of the field that way. Now you have to put your offense out there, and you're going to be, in negative territory more than likely, depending on how the kickoff goes. And maybe that's what Northridge wants. They can get their defense out there to make a play and maybe get a stop and get good field position to kind of flip the script here.
All right, 21-0 again. McAdory in control with 3 touchdowns, pitching a shutout. We'll see what happens. Again, big key Region 4 matchup here on Jeff Coed TV. We'll take another break, come back. Second half kick is just around the corner. You're watching the Jeff Coed TV Game of the Week.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the teachers of Jefferson County Schools. I appreciate everything that you do and how the commitment and dedication that you give every day that you come to service our children and to service our families. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your relationships that you have formed with our children. And thank you for ensuring that our children are achieving and learning. You are our boots on the ground, and without you, we would not be as successful as we are. And just know that you're loved and you're appreciated by not only your students, your coworkers, the families you serve, but by me. Thank you for everything that you do.
All right, back at McAdory here. Again, the rain has subsided pretty much. Still a little bit of drizzle occasionally, but the field is wet. McAdory's handled it a lot better than Northridge has, leading 21-0. Chris Osborne's chased down and tackled the father of one of the Yellow Jackets quarterbacks. Chris, what do you got?
I don't know about tackle. This is a pretty big guy here, but this is the father of the McAdory quarterback, Justin Patton's father. So tell me a little bit about how you think your son's performing tonight.
I think he's doing okay. I think he can get a little bit better. Seems like he's a little frustrated. Just needs to calm down a little bit and realize he's got a job to do.
So tell me about your son. Is he kind of mild-mannered? Is he excitable? Tell me, explain this. Let the folks at home know about your son.
Justin's he's mild-mannered, real easygoing.
student of the game, loves to study the game. He sits back. It's kind of hard to kind of read him, but, you know, he's always just football, 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 and football. That's it.
Mild manner. I don't know where he would get that from after having a conversation with you. But what do you think about the whole team? The defense is swarming the ball. Tell me about what you see.
They're swarming the ball, just like you said. They are everywhere, and that's what we've been looking for. That's what we've been needing. And they're on the ball, and that's what we need. Defense wins games sometimes.
Last thing, what do you want everybody to know about your son?
That once again, he's a student of the game. He loves the game. He loves his team. He loves his coaches, and he loves to play football, and he loves to play quarterback. So that's it.
All right, thanks so much for your time. An inside look at the McAdory quarterback.
Thank you a lot, Chris. Good to see Mr. Patton out enjoying the game, and sounds like a dad, right? Well, yeah, he's doing all right, but no, he's doing really good. And so is his team, 21-0. Now, you'll notice the clock on our broadcast is working, but the score's not working. McAdory's winning. There's a 2 missing, but we're just having a little technical difficulty with that. Look, we're glad to be on the air and giving you the action that we're giving you in this rain and muck that we're broadcasting in. So we'll give you the score as we go. It is 21-0 McAdory there. All right, so, and to make matters worse for Northridge, the Yellow Jackets are set to receive the kick. And that'll scoot into the end zone and be a dead ball back there for the Yellow Jackets. So not much has gone wrong for McAdory here in this first half as we head into the second half.
Well, to that interview at halftime, I got to say, I mean, Justin Patton, he probably thinks he's not having his best game. They have 0 passing yards. There's 3 completions for a total of 0 passing yards. At this point, I think you say you don't really need it, but I think that's something that Coach Holmes will obviously want to see corrected, maybe get some air under some balls, take a shot or two, really put this game to rest. But then again, Northridge's defense has held strong, so I think that's something to watch.
So McAdory, whoa, boy, he got corralled there, almost like a face mask as he got tackled up around his neck area. Did Kawan Johnson, but no face mask and no gain at all for Johnson on that carry.
I think us included and a bunch of people in the stands, you don't know if you see him on camera, I think we wish the rain was back. Get rid of some of these moths flying around all the lights.
So changing the play and the line assignments at the line of scrimmage is Patton. Got a new play from the sideline, running it off left tackle. Got a hole, but again, that time Northridge did what McAdory's been doing and closed it quickly there. It's coming up hard for the secondary with C.J. Stinson.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. With Northridge, maybe McAdory getting the ball first might have been better for Northridge, getting their defense, being able to be deep in the territory. If they get a stop here, they could have better field position and have the momentum of a defensive stop as opposed to sending their offense back out there.
Patton sends a man to the left flank now. He'll drop, look, directing traffic, he's got room, throws on the run into triple coverage. Somehow he caught it. How in the world into triple coverage did Trenton Charles, the senior, catch that football?
Look at this play. The directing that Patton did from behind the line of scrimmage and still not setting his feet, being able to throw that ball 40 yards on a dart. And I think the Northridge defense is thinking, you got to find the ball. You got to look back and you got to find the ball, because the only person who knew where that ball was Trent Charles.
Unbelievable as he got behind. He had so much time, he was directed traffic. Kawan Johnson to go up the middle for a couple there, maybe 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. What a throw and what a catch by Charles. And here's the other thing that's odd is Carter Fagan, he's just been kind of quiet too, and he's been their guy all year. He's their go-to.
Well, that's I said earlier on that 22-yard run, that was their biggest play. Obviously, that one now is their biggest offensive play of the game, 39-yard pass. And McAdory now moves to 5 of 7 on 3rd downs. That's a backbreaker too. Add that to the turnovers. There's multiple reasons why this is a 3-touchdown lead, but you're finally starting to see it in the stat sheet.
Low snap there. Finally, Fagan, as if responding to our script here, catches a little 7-yard out, and he'll be a yard shy of the first down on a simple little out pattern just to get him involved in the offense, I think. So Patton, the quarterback. We haven't seen much of Barnes, but he does have 2 touchdowns. The backup running quarterback for our Via Holmes Yellow Jacket team. Again, right when Northridge, to your point, wants to get off the field, they give up into triple coverage a long post pattern. So there's a run on the outside. Wow, he got walloped down. I don't even know if he got hit down by Amani Knox or just ran into him. Take a look. Look, he just ran into a wall.
I think you can see again that the edge has been McAdory's best friend in this game. Yeah. That was only 2 yards, but that's the 2 yards they needed.
Yeah, Micah Pleasant on that run. Knox knocked him down hard, but now they're going to give him the first down. I was supposed to say they haven't moved the chains as of yet, and they're moving them now. 1st and 10, McAdory at the 29.
Another 3rd down conversion for McAdory. They've converted 4 straight.
Timeout with the official, making sure chains are good. I think there was confusion because the chains had not moved, is what I'm guessing, and he's just making sure. And I think he's going to explain to him that the chains just didn't move. It is a first down, so that's what they were making sure of.
I think everyone on the field had already signaled first down except for the head official. He was waiting for a measurement and realized, well, the chain's already moved. I guess we need to call this first down at this point.
So 1st and 10, McAdory. Again, 1-1 on the year, but they played a very difficult schedule. Beating Pleasant Grove in week 1, losing by 1 last week to Helena. So they've already played very competitive football. Wide open up the middle. Kawan Johnson loses the football. It's still loose on the turf. Where will it go? Will anybody fall on it? It's just mayhem in the corner of the end zone, and we'll see. Did McAdory get it? They actually fell on it. Hustling down there was Trenton Charles. Take a look.
From a low snap, picking the ball off the ground, looking like a touchdown, and he put his helmet on the ball, and it just popped out. Talk about wanting to fall on the football.
Yeah.
That's the moment he went. I don't know if McAdory even fell on that ball or if it ended up just being rolling out of bounds or someone out of bounds touching it, but nearly the break Northridge needed. But once again, it just feels like a kind of play that Northridge had a chance, and it broke the wrong way.
Low snap again. This time, Northridge will fall on the football. I was about to say they dodged a bullet there, did McAdory, but immediately a bad snap, and Zaylen Hutchins, a linebacker from Northridge, falls on it. So they turn it over inside the 5.
Yeah, that's almost the same snap that we saw the play before, just a little bit more heat on it, bounces off the shins, bounces forward, and a good heads-up play, good awareness to be able to see that ball and fall on it as quickly as they did. There's your break. There's what Northridge needed. Yeah, it came a few plays late, maybe a few minutes, maybe a couple of quarters late, but there's your break you're needed, and Northridge needs to take advantage of it now.
But they're deep in their own territory, which is to make McAdory's advantage, 95 yards away. Handoff again. Elam inside, and finally some positive yardage between the tackles for Northridge as Elam gets about 8 on that left side behind Hayes Formby, again, the left tackle, who is the brother of Alabama Crimson Tide right tackle. Second down and 2. Boy, great move by Elam. He's in the open field. He's not going to outrun anybody, but he can be savvy. And he just had a cutback move to ditch Cottingham before he was drugged down over there by Thomas. Take a look at this move.
Man, that cut right there at the line of scrimmage, and then he makes another one that probably gets him another 10, 15 yards across midfield. Said it for McAdory a couple of times tonight. That is by far Northridge's best offensive play. That one went for 40 yards.
Yeah, and treacherous footing out there, obviously.
It almost looked like he was going to fall a couple of times there before he even got the first down. Almost looked like one of those plays that they had in the first half where, hey, they almost had it, but they slipped. He was able to keep his footing and even make a couple of cuts.
So from the 5-yard line to the McAdory side of things, Kapalovic goes left to right. Grimmel going around in, and he's not going to get much. Knocked down there by McAdory's Zaylen Copes, who had that touchdown run. Chambers also in. Number 93 for McAdory in on that play. 2nd down and 10. Northridge seems fine and compelled with going with a slow pace here.
And again, I'll say it, they were down 14-0 last week, came back and won that game in overtime. They were losing that Calera game. They had to score 23 unanswered points in that Calera game to win by 3. So this is not an unusual spot, and they'll stick with their game.
Boy, I thought that would be a flag on Kapolovic, but they gave him that, right? He was still moving, going down into his stance, but they gave him the benefit of the doubt up the middle. So it'll be 3rd down and about 5 or so, a little long 5.5 to go for a first. They could have easily called that illegal procedure.
Is that something you say, well, you know, his dad's an offensive line coach. Surely I didn't see him false start.
Right.
Because he would be hearing about it at home.
That's right. Christensen drops back, has a man. Boy, tight window. Somehow got it in there. Arvia Holmes is saying that he didn't have it. The official says he does have it. That's Klein over there with the great hands.
That is.
Arvia Holmes said he could do it. I don't know if we can get that replay again, but it looked like the ball hit maybe right there, and he pulled it up, right? You saw that?
I think your best chance is that if that was a catch, it bounced off his knee and moved up. But what I will say is that the coach is right there talking about how that should be an incomplete pass. That should have been pass interference to begin with. That was at least a pass interference call.
Let's go to Chris Osborne, who had better eyes on it than we did.
Guys, it happened right in front of me, and I can tell you that ball was dropped. So, you know, sometimes they miss calls. This is one of those times. Back to you.
Chris, he's one of those red flags they have in the NFL. You could throw it out there, and we could get a replay on that deal. But we don't have that in high school football. So I'm sure Arvia Holmes wishes he had one tonight because he was on top of it just like Chris was, pointing at the ground, and we had a good shot of the replay there as well. But, again, high school football, we don't have that. So
hey, we toyed with it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but when it wasn't available for everybody. And I'll say again, that might have been the wrong call, but they missed pass interference, so I think we broke even on that play.
Christensen throws it out quickly. Nobody out there. And a pretty good gain there. Again, football loose, but I think he fell on it again, or at least Keith Powell fell on it as Northridge completed the pass out there to Ty Welton. But you could see the cushion he had. It was nobody. The free safety was 20 yards away.
And I think you saw the adjustment over here on the sideline. That's probably why Holmes was so upset with that incompletion call, was because they made that adjustment. They played a little tighter, and it didn't work.
2nd down and 4. Handoff Elam. Left to right. Stuck, but he's just grinding it out, isn't he? Pretty close to a first down before he was drugged down by Jackson and Allen.
I think you got 2 plays to go a yard. I don't think you try to do anything too risky. I mean, I'd take it under center with the way snaps have happened.
3rd and 2, and that's exactly what they're going to do, but it still got a messed up snap, and he's sacked. And a loss that now gives you a real decision to make, as Copes and everybody else was in on that one for McAdory. So they had 3rd and 1, and to your point, had 2 downs to get a yard, and now that 2nd down has become 5.
Boy, what do I know, right? I mean, take it under center. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you lose 5 yards. I guess when you have a team, a quarterback and a center who doesn't take snaps under center very often, that's a risk.
Kylan Rice actually in on that tackle. Now comes 5 instead of 6. So 4th and 5. Christensen looking right, and it went off of the back of the linebacker for McAdory, or excuse me, James Kite. I always say linebacker, but at nickel he plays close to the field there, and he was within the distance of Kapolovic, but knocked it away. Didn't lead him enough.
That's the play that they expected. Maybe that cushion would still be there, and it wasn't. McAdory on 4th down. They know where that line of scrimmage is. They weren't letting anything underneath. No curls. I almost think you could have taken a shot, But again, I think that possession was lost on 3rd and short with that snap. Another possession that Northridge had that feels like a waste after a good drive.
1st down and 10. Handoff to Johnson. He's got a big hole. He could be gone. Johnson, you're not catching him. He's going to the mall. Touchdown, McAdory. How about the hole and the speed of Johnson as he could have kept running down 459 towards the Galleria.
Yeah, that was a hole that opened up that they've been waiting on. And if you thought the turnover on downs was a backbreaker, that run was the backbreaker. Another long possession, empty possession for Northridge. One big play. McAdory has had the big plays in this game. That's been the difference. Great run there, extending the lead.
All right, so McAdory, Rosales will come in and do the conventional extra point to try to make it 28-0, 3:29 to go, as you see on the clock. The clock is right. The scoreboard on our end is not, but it is right there. 28-0, McAdory on top of Northridge and in control again. Did you know that if your child misses just 2 days of school a month, he or she will miss over 10% of instruction for the school year? Those missed days add up, and we're doing our best to counter chronic absenteeism. It's a problem, or it can be. September is Attendance Awareness Month. We want everybody to be at school on time, all day, every day. It's very important. Remember, every day in the classroom is a step towards achieving academic goals and a brighter future. September, Attendance Awareness Month. So McAdory still in control. It looked like Northridge would maybe try to climb back into this thing after they had a couple of explosion plays, but wasn't happening.
Yeah, I think before the game, I think we talked a little bit about it. We thought this might be the closer game on the scoreboard that we've had so far on our Game of the Weeks. And to Northridge's credit, they really haven't been terrible tonight, but it's been five key plays that have decided this game. It's 4 turnovers and a touchdown run, and that's the reason that this feels so lopsided when Northridge has moved the ball consistently better than McAdory has.
All right, Rosales will kick. We'll get to Chris in just a moment after this kickoff. 28-0 Yellow Jackets. Rosales kicks it away. And this time, Knox returning it for Northridge, and he's finally belted down at about the 39-yard line. Let's go to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris, what do you got?
Hey, guys, I was just going to tell you, it was a heck of a run for that touchdown, but don't forget about the guys in the trenches. I can tell you, I was standing right beside them, and they opened up a hole big enough for me to drive my Chevy truck through. So definitely it's a team that's starting to click on all cylinders.
No doubt about it. And that is a great point. McAdory, again, that left side with Javion McDuffie, Ryan Gray, but Tyler Watts in the center, Cornelius Chavist, Brandon Walker on the right side for the Yellow Jackets, really opening holes. Here comes Northridge answering with a 14-yard run, we'll call it, with Elam off their left side behind Formby and Allen over there. They just don't have enough of those added together to do any damage.
Yeah, another good run. That's stuff we saw in the last drive to get them across midfield as well. He's certainly surpassed his total rushing yardage from the first half already in the third quarter alone, surpassing 70 yards. So I think he might hit 100 by the end of the game. Of course, that might be a third-string running back. So Northridge might have to have some answers in other places if they want to make some noise in future games.
Grammel, who is listed as a defensive back coming in, so he's doing the best he can. He did get 5 or 6 over there going left to right on the cut, but they are missing Jacob Hall, the senior, and then, as we said, Jalen McCray, the junior, who again had 200 yards against Calera just 2 weeks ago. We have no idea. We weren't given any information. We don't know if injured or disciplined or what, but they are not played a snap that I've seen tonight, and that's affected Northridge. Christensen on the RPO, his helmet comes off, and he is really belted down there by McAdory, and that's going to cause a little bit of a skirmish on that far sideline. They were just playing football, it looked like, on that. It looked worse than it was. DeLeon Chambers was the guy in over there, and then he got hit by a Northridge lineman, so we're going to have to sort this out.
I don't really see I mean, that I don't have a problem with too much that happened there yet. I mean, other than McAdory, a helmet comes off, you're supposed to stop playing, and not only did one player hit him, Christensen, after his helmet came off, another player came in, grabbed him, and threw him down. And then Northridge got involved because, hey, you just threw my quarterback down without a helmet on. I'm gonna stand up for him. I didn't see anything I didn't see any punches thrown. I didn't see anything. That's gonna happen in football. Teams standing up for each other, and I think the refs got it right too. I believe that there should be 15 yards and a first down.
Chambers was the one that threw down the quarterback Christensen, and then he got belted out of bounds. I didn't catch the number of the Northridge offensive lineman that hit him, and that's what caused a brief skirmish on there. It's been a pretty clean football game until but obviously there's frustration for Northridge, down 28-0, and not a lot has gone right. This could be offsetting, but to your point, I think it probably should be a penalty, but we'll see what happens.
I think he might get 15 yards on McAdory for what happened in the play, and then offsetting for after the play.
For personal fouls. And that's what Arvia Holmes, who looks like he's not going to like the answer. He's got his hands on his hip, and so we'll see. But I think that's the fair call. I don't know if it's the right call, but it's the fair call, seemingly with what happened, and Arvia Holmes doesn't provide much resistance from his end.
Might be staring down his own sideline a little more than he's upset with the officials on that one, and that's tough to do. You say when a player's helmet comes off, the play is over. If your helmet comes off, you have to stop playing too, and that's just tough to do. Your instinct is to play. Here's the call.
Personal foul, and they just basically called one. They didn't even want to talk about the other.
The after the play.
The aftermath. So, again, the result we think is pretty fair. So, 15-yard mark off, and now McAdory, and I think Arvia Holmes right there, the head coach, he wants to keep this shutout. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure what Beware of the Dogs is on a Yellow Jacket jersey, but pads, but they're playing like a bunch of dogs out there getting after the Jaguars, I'll tell you that.
Dogs, swarming Yellow Jackets. They're playing like the swarming moths. The rain, they're everywhere. I don't know any other way to describe them. They're just everywhere tonight. And it's the bend, don't break so far for them.
So Grimmel is behind the center, but they kind of snap it to the new quarterback. Then Grimmel comes back on the right side, but again, drug down. There's a flag down. Probably where holding is. I didn't see an illegal block, but we'll see how they sort this out.
Yeah, I think it was holding on the edge. Northridge finally gets to the edge, positive yards on the edge. Turns out I think there's a reason for it.
It is a hold, and that 15 they gave up, at least some of it will come back right now on a spot foul. And we'll see where they end up placing the football.
Looks like they give him a yard before going back 10.
Yeah.
Be the fun number of 1st and 19, I believe.
We don't want to assume 20, but we're going to add it up at the 36-yard line, so it's about 19. So
first penalty
maybe
of the
even
game
18. So, yeah, they'll have to get to the 18-yard line or just beyond to get a first down, and they're at the 36. Inslee math tells me that's 18 yards. It's my second Inslee reference tonight. That's pretty crazy.
You're feeling good about it.
28-0, a minute 32 to go in this third quarter. Kapilovic again goes to the right. Klein again. They've done that several times. Grimmel follows them this time. They've gone against that motion several times. They're trying anything, but it's pretty much the same result there for McAdory. Again, as the Braylon Glover, another backup linebacker, comes in and makes that tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, that was a 2-yard gain. I felt like he fought his own offensive lineman more, trying to run behind him. He says, I'm small. You go deal with them. That's what I would do, too.
They're really pursuing and just stacking it up. There's nowhere to cut up field, it seems like, most of the time for the Jaguars. So second down. Again, they'll move strong side to the left now. See if that works. And they'll go left. That's Tubbs, who's now in as a running back. And again, not much success on that one. James Kite coming up, the nickel back. Again, he plays very close to the line of scrimmage. And then big number 99, Jordan Allen, who looks like he might have a 3 in front of his weight as well. Help clean it up there. So 3rd down and 14. Got third quarter about to end here at McAdory, and they'll let the clock run out and do it on the other end. We'll take a break. You're watching the Jeffco Ed Game of the Week. McAdory on top and in control, 28-0 over Northridge. Welcome back here to McAdory High School. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turtine, our great crew, John Huddleston, executive producer, John Rocket producing here, and our outstanding crew giving you our 3rd football game here on Jeffco Ed TV. We got a full slate. Next week we'll be at Oak Grove for Pleasant Grove. We get a look at those guys as they drop down to 4A. Pleasant Grove and Oak Grove for a Region 4 game over there. So we'll be excited and pumped for that action coming up next Friday.
I think Oak Grove fans will feel pretty good. The fact that our first 3 games, the home team has won pretty handedly. So Oak Grove might have a good luck charm.
Are you presuming this one's over? Christensen drops back. Don't answer that question. He rolls right, throws across his body a little low, and I think it's picked off. That's the 5th turnover. Coming up on, I didn't see who got their hands on it, but Marquise Cottingham got the pick. Did you see who got the hand on the tip?
I think it was the linebacker. Might have been number 0, who I feel like you've called most of the night. Nope, 0 was over here.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been Kylan Rice maybe. We didn't see it. So in any event, Cottingham gets the interception. And once again, when Northridge gets something going a little positive, they stub their toe.
And that's one of those things where it's like, that's a tip ball. That could go to anybody, right?
Right.
But when things are going your way, it's like that ball was always going to end up in a McAdory player's arms, wasn't it? After that ball was tipped,
it was, right?
After that ball was tipped, you just knew where that was going. Really good play to be able to get his arms underneath it and secure that ball, secure that interception.
Very aware of ball awareness there for the defensive back. So now the backup quarterback, Barnes, is in, and they'll run some here and try to grind it out. Barnes very quick from his quarterback position. He hands off this time, though, to Pleasant on that left side. Finally, they run behind those left guys, McDuffie and Gray over there at about, close to 600 pounds worth of linemen, and they pick up a nice chunk of about 9.
You've been asking for that all night. I'm glad we got to see it here in the 4th quarter. Maybe McAdory will start seeing some offense, a little more offensive success than a one-play burst like we saw on the last drive.
28-0 McAdory. 5 turnovers for the Northridge Jaguars in this region game, the opener for both. Another high snap. They got to be careful over there, and that pitch was off time, and I think Northridge may have it. We'll see what they call. No, I guess a Yellow Jacket got in there and got that football. But the timing was off of that, and the pitch was off.
I'm not sure how that ended up being someone else's ball, but I will say that looked forward to me. If Northridge recovers that ball, it's sideways. I'll give it sideways.
But the timing was off.
It was.
Everything was off about that play.
That's what can tell you. A snap, just a bad snap or a high snap can throw off so much in the backfield.
And again, the rain has subsided. The football should be getting towel dried, right? So, but we're still having these slippery snaps here. This time a throw out. Barnes finds his man Fagan, but not much there. Boy, look at this pancake action back in the back for McAdory as they took a poor Jaguar back to the 5 on that.
And celebrated like they did it too.
Yeah. Actually, it's not Fagans out there. It's number 7, Sean Talbert, his first catch as a senior. Not number 17, number 7. But he didn't get much to go on that one either. Pretty good closing speed there by Brylan Tubbs, a junior. 28-0. McAdory on top. I'm a little bit surprised they're throwing it a little bit, but I think they're just trying to run some offense for Williams. Boy, there's some hard running there for McAdory. Coming up hard, Braylon Ellington, who had a big hit tonight as well. And he's running hard there and trying to carry some Jaguars with him. Took the helmet off of Stinson on that run.
And if he had been able to break that final tackle, he would have, no one else was in front of him. He kept working. I think he saw the end zone, and he really, really wanted a taste of it.
So Rosales back to kick for McAdory. Elam is set to return. It's good to see a good clean snap. Elam will take the fair catch at the 43. We're so proud of our superintendent, Dr. Walter Gonsolin. You just saw him earlier in the game being interviewed by Chris. He was recently recognized by Governor Kay Ivey and State Superintendent Dr. Eric Mackey, there he is, with the Cognia Visionary Leadership Award. The award was given to Dr. G for his outstanding contributions to education in our state, his dedication to maximizing opportunities for all students and staff within our incredible Jeffco Ed district. Congratulations to Dr. Gonsolin, and well-deserved for that honor there from Governor Kay Ivey. Elam gets the ball and goes a couple of yards over that left side for Northridge, and it seems like they just want to get momentum. I think they've forgotten about this game and want to get their practice in and momentum for next week for Northridge.
As I mentioned, they don't stray from their plan no matter how far they're down, but I agree. I think at this point you want you love
good
to
about
score.
Yourself, right?
You love to score a 50-yard touchdown. Be like, all right, hey, then we get another stop, then we get the ball back, and you go for it. But you're right; it has to be one play at a time.
Elam with some very good cuts. He's run pretty good here in the second half. I don't know how many yards he's got, but he got 4 or 5 on that play before he was drugged down over there by another backup linebacker from McAdory. That's Trey Blanding. He's got 3 or 4 tackles already at his backup spot. 3rd down and 3.
Got him up to 107 yards now on 18 carries. He surpassed the 100 mark with his first run on this drive.
Hand off to Tubbs, right side. He's got a hole. He's cutting through. Beautiful running using his blocks. He got some good production out there from his wideouts. Felton with a nice key block. That's a first down.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't get a carry earlier. I understand you want to play your guys one way, especially at a 6A school. But when you're down running backs, I think you got to find somebody who can carry the load. And he obviously is a good runner, being able to hit that hole with a little more speed than Northridge has.
And he's been the kickoff guy as a returner all game. Timeout on the field with 7:22 to go. We'll take a break, come back with more. Jeffco Ed Game of the Week. Stay with us.
It's an underrated job for everybody else, but for us, it's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile, making a difference in their lives. You know, kids will remember some teachers, but they'll usually always remember their bus driver because the bus driver's with them for so long. I mean, so many years of their life.
Welcome back to the west side of Birmingham, McAdory Technically High School. Scott Griffin, Caleb Turrentine here, 28-0. That scoreboard says it all, 7:22, as you can see, to go in the fourth quarter. Northridge trying to light up the scoreboard on their side, but they're not going to do it on that play. as they hand off to Tubbs on the outside. But again, Blanding there, leading the way, number 20 for McAdory with a host of teammates.
I think the McAdory defense has shown a lot of smarts, I think, in this game. We've talked about the speed on the edge, being able to chase down blocks, but they're reading these handoffs well. When a team runs the ball 50 times a game, they're going to have to get creative, and Northridge does a pretty good job of that. They have different sweeps. They have different motions. They go to the weak side. They go to the strong side, and McAdory's been able to pretty much stick with all of it. I think that can be confusing, so I think that's props to the coaching staff for getting him ready at different looks, and obviously to the defensive front.
Christensen again to Tubbs. He beats his right tackle. He might score, and Northridge will get on the board finally with a nice run by Tubbs, but great offensive line blocking at the point of attack. Take a look.
Yeah, what I was just saying, they have different sweeps. McAdory loaded up that side, but every single man was picked up. That's a play that Northridge coaches are over there thinking, where was this? How many times have we run this play tonight?
But to your point, Tubbs has been the difference. He's obviously got more speed than what they put in the backfield so far tonight.
He's got 52 yards on 4 carries now, just on that drive alone, and obviously the touchdown to get them on the scoreboard.
So Caleb Schofield on for the kick. He had the game winner in overtime last week against American Christian, and he puts it up and through. 28-7 is the score, and Northridge just has to feel good about just getting on the scoreboard.
That's what I was saying. I mean, yeah, you take that drive, you stick with your game plan, you play your game, because at the end of the day, it's a positive. But there's 6.5 minutes to go, and you're thinking, kickoff, we just stopped them. We forced turnovers tonight too. What if you get another one? I think you just have to play it one at a time, and you're right.
Look, there you are.
There's some positives there. Hey, everyone.
I'm hiding over here on the left side. That's Caleb.
I can't even see our own cameraman. Is that bad? There he is.
You can't see Mr. Huddleston or Mr. Rocket or Jake or Mr. Replay. They're hiding along with me.
I'm hiding from the bugs up
We're not going to be hiding next Friday night. Oak Grove. We'll be checking out the Grove, Battle of the Groves. Oak Grove hosting Pleasant Grove. It'll be good to see Pleasant Grove and Darryl LeBeau, outstanding football coach. They're the Spartans. So we'll be there next Friday night hanging out in the Grove, watching the Grove.
Speaking of some other...
Have I mentioned Grove enough?
We'll be there. We'll find the
Grove.
There
it is.
We'll find both Groves at some point this year. Speaking of other teams, Jefferson County, quick update as we wait for this kickoff. Mountain Brook and Hueytown. Hueytown has cut that lead to 6 points. It's 20-14. Hueytown took the opening kickoff of the second half back for a touchdown. So that's 20-14, something to keep an eye on tonight.
Wow, that's great.
Parker has extended their lead on Gardendale. Parker's up 14-0 now, looking a little bit more like the number 2 team in 6A. But a couple of big games.
Very big games. Parker's very good.
Gardendale being able to stick within a touchdown for 3 quarters is impressive enough. I can say that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Coach Edie will, but
yeah, Chad Eads has done a great job there for a few years. They've had a couple of average years in a row maybe, but it looks like they're starting to turn that corner back. That can happen in high school football because you can't recruit, right? You got to you got to take, well, some people would argue with that statement, but most people can't recruit, and you're pretty much stuck with what you got at your in your area. So all right, so Schofield will kick it away. It's the first time that Northridge is lined up in the kickoff, well, the second time I guess. They did it at the beginning of the second half, so their second time they get to kick off deep to McAdory receivers.
McAdory does have 2 receivers deep still, but the other 9 players are within 25 yards of this ball. I think they're preparing a little bit in case it's a squib kick.
And it is a squib kick, but it's right into the breadbasket of the McAdory front line. That was pretty easy to navigate there. Falling on it, number 42, Carter Johnson, a sophomore running back, covered it up, making sure that leather was protected.
Hey, I can't. I don't disagree with that idea. I mean, if they're only going to show you 5 men up front, right there, 10 yards away, you kick it at them. They made the play, they recovered, but you kick it at them. It gives you your best chance of getting the ball back. And now, of course,
it seems like every onside kick, and I've been thinking about this, when there's only 4 or 5 on the front, the kicker always kicks it right to the guy. I don't understand that.
Find the hole.
That's what I would do.
They had 10 They had 10 guys around that kicker right next to each other.
Yeah.
You shift that a little to the right, a little to the left, you're going to have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, and your guys
maybe that's what the kicker was trying to do. That's a hard thing to do, is bounce that ball.
No, it's definitely hard. Oh, there's another loose football, and it's picked up. Ooh. I don't even know why he didn't fall on it, but picked up again, and that's, again, the running back who had a big hit, Braylon Ellington, in this game.
Look at him pick up this ball and lay this hit on offense. My goodness. That's why he picked up the ball. He wanted to lay another hit.
Yeah, he was definitely in an ornery mood picking up the pigskin as he laid the wood that time to the Northridge defensive back. A lot of backups in now for sure. Everybody getting playing time in this 28-7 game. 2nd down and 11. Just under 5.5 to go. That's Barnes. He'll be close to a first down. That's what he does. That's why he plays. He's the backup, but he normally plays a lot of snaps. He's got a couple of touchdowns tonight on short runs, but that shows you his straight-ahead speed.
Yeah, that's going to really cut back on his touchdown conversion rate. That's 3 carries, 14 yards, still only 2 touchdowns. I thought for a second he might go for a third touchdown.
It's only 66% now instead of 100, right?
He'll have to run a lap for that probably in practice. He didn't score on that play.
3rd down and 1. Barnes sends a man in motion, runs up the middle. He's got that and more, breaks into the secondary, and finally drug down at the 30-yard line. As nice run by Barnes. Tackle over there made by McKinley Brownlee.
He's running like he doesn't care about the touchdown conversion rate as much as his average per carry at this point. 2 straight 10-plus yard carries, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is the one who ends up finding the end zone if they get there or if they sit on this ball and the game ends before anyone even gets into the end zone.
4:20 and counting. McAdory obviously not in a big hurry, leading by 3 touchdowns. 1st and 10. Oh, high snap, but really great catch by Barnes. Again, throwing the timing off, and he is knocked down there by the linebacker for Northridge, number 44, Miller Arundel. 2nd down and basically 9.5. We'll give him a half yard on that. If you're into decimal stats. But it was a great catch by Barnes on the snap. And once again, we've seen, 10 or 12 of those?
Yeah, some tough snaps
combining
on both
sides.
Yeah, on both sides. I think that's when you can tell that maybe that ground is a little slippery where you scoop it up or you pick it up before snapping it. It's causing a little bit some errant snaps.
Ellington going around the right side, and he's belted down, but he'll be at about the 22-yard line, so pretty good 6-7 yard run on the outside for the Yellow Jackets.
A good run. He is out for some contact, and I think maybe some Northridge players have noticed that. They're out to lay a hit back, making sure that they can get that contact back to him that he's given to Northridge players.
You're going to absorb it and deliver it, right? Barnes again. Quarterback. Under 3 minutes to go in this football game. McAdory band doing the victory chant. Great play fake. Makes another man miss. Spins. And he's still on his feet. Barnes has his 3rd. Did he step out? He did. I thought he had his 3rd touchdown of the night, but he steps out at the 7-yard line. Watch this Justin Timberlake moves.
I think he deserves a touchdown even if he stepped out just for the moves. Oh, man, that was close. I think he did, but that was close. Really good run, really impressive run. I think the best part about that was pulling it on the read option. I don't know if that was a fake
that was
or
a great
if it was a true read option. You don't see a lot of those in high school, but that ball was deep into the running back's stomach, and he pulled that thing out. Really, really impressive pull. Really good play by Barnes.
It did indeed look like an RPO. Whether it was or not, we don't know. Injured Northridge player, but he's up and moving a little bit now, so he'll go to the sidelines and get the obligatory clapping from both sides of tonight's action. Good shot of Arvia Holmes and his offensive staff down there. Done a nice job tonight. They don't have a ton of yards, but they certainly have converted turnovers into points tonight, and that's a sign of a good football team.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the kind of start you want, and Holmes was talking about being able to swarm to the ball. That's what they did in the first half, and I also think he will be happy with how this offense has performed and responded in the second half. Yeah, they had their turnovers. You've seen the bad snaps. But they have moved the ball much, much better. I mean, on the one run, on the one touchdown run, they exceeded how many yards they gained in the first half alone. So the offense definitely improved, and Holmes will have to be happy about that.
Ellington again flanks Barnes on the right side, but they do it end around here. Spin move, but right into the arms there. Sean Talbert, the senior, spun right into the arms of Northridge. So McAdory will have to get back on the line.
That looked like the kind of play that, McAdory wanted to try something out, and Northridge said, y'all aren't getting cute on us right now. We're shutting this down. And like we've talked about, Northridge has a good defense, so they've played a pretty good game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're not going to allow some trickery fool them in the backfield like that.
This time Ellington to the left. He'll get the pitch. Runs right into resistance, but he'll get up 2 or 3 over there. Arundel helped lead the way for Northridge. But Ellington starting to pad his stats a little bit here late in the game. We're under 2 minutes to go. 28-7 the score, McAdory over Northridge. And now it looks like a cramp maybe for McAdory lineman. Ryan Gray is down. There's a couple of future Yellow Jacket kids getting ready, getting practice in here on a Friday night.
That looked a lot like a lot of the plays we've seen. You run at the line of scrimmage, someone tackles you right away. That's some good defense done right there. They're getting ready to play some hard-nosed football. Who knows what the game will be like by the time they get up here. Is everyone going to be passing the ball again? The game changes every 10 years. You never know.
Ryan Gray looks like he's okay. Might have been a cramp or something. That's what it looks like a little bit. And you could see his size. Well, we're not even going to show the injury. We're fascinated with these guys right here.
He's taking his helmet off. I think that's illegal. I think
he's got to check out of the game. He's knocked a little woozy. All right, so pretty soon we'll be calling his games right here at McAdory. A few years. So Gray will go out, and Josh Halsey is his normal backup, number 74, and he has checked in. Halsey, a sophomore. Handoff, Ellington inside, power running, and boy, I thought it was really close. He's about 1.5 yards shy of a touchdown. There's 1:20. Now this is where we get into the conversation of, do you try to score, do you not? I don't like taking a knee. I just like having your team play. The other team should stop you. I mean, you got your backups in there, right?
I agree. I think you probably just run it. You don't.
But you're not in a hurry.
I don't. Right, you're not in a hurry.
You're just doing your normal offense.
And especially, it's telling the way Northridge is playing. They're not calling a timeout.
Yeah.
They're not trying to extend this game. But I don't think you kneel it out either. You got
down
here.
I think that's more embarrassing.
That's almost more disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then what do you want to do if you're Northridge? If they kneel it, then you have to take a snap from the 1 yard line. We've seen how some snaps go. So
let's go down to Chris Osborne on the sideline. Chris, what do you got?
So, guys, surprisingly so, Coach Holmes did come down and he talked to the ref and he said, hey, run it all the way down and then I'm going to call timeout. So not really sure what that was about. Maybe they want to try to get this last little punch in to put an exclamation point on tonight. But certainly this game has been a blowout and it's been all McAdory all the time. Back to you guys up there.
All right, 28-7. So Arvilla did choose to let the clock melt away, but that could still go either way, right? He could take a knee. Again, I'm kind of the school of thought that you don't run a flea flicker or anything, obviously, but you run your offense, and it's the other team's job to stop you.
Especially in a situation.
And you got your backups in.
It's like you can't get a first down without scoring a touchdown. This isn't like you're going to.
You're not at the 15.
Yeah,
right?
And you're going to run, and then you can tell your guys maybe sit down before you get to the end zone. You just have to play this game. Play this play, and
I think we don't know what they're going to do, but I would be good with anything here. I don't think anything says anything other than we're just trying to get the game over.
If I see a Philly special, then I can understand being upset.
Right. So Barnes is back in the conventional offense. He does get it, and he does run it in. And I have no problem with that. Barnes gets his 3rd touchdown. And again, it's the opponent's job to stop you. We didn't, we ran clock. So
yeah, and
there shouldn't be any upset feelings from Lolly on that towards Holmes.
And I don't even mind it as a kid who has a couple of touchdowns, kid who doesn't play a lot.
Well, he's a backup.
He's a 3 touchdowns in a night. I think that's a special night for him to remember. I could understand frustrations on the Northridge sideline, but I think that it builds way more than just that play. Those frustrations are beyond that one play. So you might hear a comment or something in the line.
Right.
The coach might say something, and there might be a conversation. But at the end of the day,
there's no ill will from Arvia Holmes on that.
No.
Extra point is up, and it is no good by Rosales. So that score 34-7 here. And we got the scoreboard up there. 38 seconds to go, so that's a good thing. 34-7, McAdory on top again next week. Oak Grove, Pleasant Grove, 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. The Battle of the Groves over in the western Jefferson County area. That's a Region 4 game as well, so that'll be a good one to watch. Tonight, we thought we were going to have a better game than this, to be honest with you, but 5 turnovers, hard to overcome, and McAdory's taken advantage of all of them.
Yeah, I think what we talked about early on and in the pregame, the game itself has gone pretty much how we expected, how McAdory is scoring with their big plays. They haven't had as much success in the passing game. The 2 quarterbacks have worked well, and then they've taken control of the big plays. Then Northridge played ball control. They dominated time of possession tonight. They ran the ball pretty well. And I don't know how much of a difference those 2 running backs would have made. You might have
not
a
this
less
score,
fumble.
but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they had a fine game on the ground. Like I said, they probably were close to 200 by the end of the night. Certainly surpassed 150. So the game went as we said for both teams. But yeah, it's the 5 turnovers, and that's 5 possessions. It's a 4-possession game. That makes the difference, and every single coach in the state of Alabama will tell you that you can't win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times.
No, if you do,
you probably had 6 takeaways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was more to the other side. Tubbs has it at the 15 again, running all the way across the field. They've done this return pretty much the whole night, and he's drugged down there at the 36-yard line, basically, with 29 seconds to go in this football game.
And we're throwing flags.
Holding against Northridge, so that'll back them up from the spot.
See, if I'm on the Northridge coaching staff, I have more problem with the 10-yard penalty being thrown than that touchdown at the end of the game.
It's your job to stop it.
And it's the ref's job to
your
throw
point,
flags.
They're on the 2 or 3. You're running a conventional play. The quarterback took the snap and ran up the middle. I mean, again, I don't know what you would be upset at. And we're not.
And I'm
we're
not
saying
Lolly
is upset, right?
No.
We're just theorizing.
He's been around.
There shouldn't be anything on that.
He's been around a while, and he's won a lot of games,
Yeah.
and he's doing just fine.
99 games at Gordo before he came over here to Northridge, and they'll take a knee and run this clock out. So your final should be 34-7. McAdory winning this one tonight. So a great win for Arvia Holmes and his staff and the Yellow Jackets as they get their first win in Region 4. So there's the team shaking hands. Arvia Holmes.
I think you're talking about Region 4. That's a region where this game is going to be huge in seeding. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these teams still make the playoffs, but you have Hueytown in this region, and then Bessemer City might be another team that you think could win a title. McAdory certainly puts themselves with an early lead in the chase for a region title, but Northridge is right there too when they don't turn the ball over 5 times. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs this year. But this game, this win right here, will go a long way in the seeding for how this region lines up come postseason.
All right, that's 34-7 is the final. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the post-game interview with Arvia Holmes and much more. You're watching the Jeff Coed Game of the Week.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. This year, we are seizing the day to shape the future. You'll see that message on our social media channels, our website, and signs around your school. At Jeff Co-Ed, we're all about offering numerous opportunities to our students. From our highly rated international baccalaureate school, to our signature academies, to our career tech and fine arts programs, to our elementary theme schools. We're looking to seize the day, every day, and capitalize on every opportunity in front of us. Seize the day, shape the future. This is Jeff Co-Ed.
All right, welcome back to McAdory. And we're going to get our Via Holmes here in just a minute. And we've got him right now, Chris Osborne, standing by with the victorious coach. Chris.
Hey, guys, thanks for throwing it down. Coach, you got a pretty convincing win tonight. Tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, I think the kids came out, man, and answered the bell. They came out and played hard. We challenged them all week, man. You know, we had some guys banged up, and you know how it is. We get to this point of the year, man, everybody starts to feel bad. You know, it's kind of dragging them through practice a little bit. We took care of them at the end of the week, and I think they responded. You know, I'm super proud of those guys, man. I know Northridge, they play hard, man. They got a good football team. So tonight we finally showed, man, what we could possibly do if we just stick together, play hard, man, protect the football.
So we talked at halftime. You talked about your defense swarming. What about the offense? What are you going to have to do to tighten that up a little bit?
Well, we got to be better, you know, when teams stop our run. We got to be better throwing the football. You know, we got to be able to stretch the field a little bit more. You know, on the offensive side of the ball, they did what we asked them to do tonight. You know, we really didn't have to throw it because we really went down. So what we had to do to win the game is what we did. So I'm super proud of those guys.
Coach, I'll let you get your team. Thanks so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, back to you guys up top.
Thank you, Chris. At our Via Holmes, the victorious win. They're 2-1 now on the year and 1-0 in the region. Before we go away, let's take a look at some of the numbers from tonight. What stood out to you?
Well, I think Quan Johnson ended up having a big night because of that. Obviously, the long touchdown run ended up being his last touch of the night. He ran for 112 yards and a touchdown. That comes after he ran for 169 in that win over Pleasant Grove. Had big plays in that one, including a game-winning 65-yard touchdown run, so that's nothing new. McAdory finished with 208 rushing yards, only 37 passing yards. As Coach Holmes was just mentioning, they're going to have to get better at that if they're going to want to win the region title. 245 yards of total offense. Northridge finished with 225. Northridge was right there with McAdory for a lot of this game, especially when Northridge defense was on the field. But as we mentioned time and time again, 5 turnovers, 5 takeaways from McAdory's defense. That was the difference. That's region title stuff right there.
No doubt about it. Next week's region game will be at Oak Grove for Oak Grove and Pleasant Grove on the west side of Jefferson County for our Jefferson County Game of the Week, Game 4 of the season. So, again, pregame at 6:40. The kickoff will be right at 7 o'clock. For our outstanding crew, executive producer John Huddleston, our director John Rocket, our incredible crew that was here, we enjoyed it tonight. We appreciate you watching. And the final again, 34-7, McAdory over Northridge. You've been watching Jeff Co-Ed TV and our Game of the Week. So long, till next Friday.